Thank you, Mark. Well, what an intriguing London derby this is between these two sides who are out of form and certainly have a respective fan base for both Tottenham Hotspur and West Ham that is disillusioned and has a lot of discontent aimed at their respective owners. There's been a stoppage and a clash of heads, and it is Pablo for West Ham and Gallagher for Tottenham who are both down. But even a morbid fascination at times regarding how this is going to pan out. It's going to be very hard what to expect between Tottenham Hotspur and West Ham United. I'll run through the two teams for you. Vicario is in goal for Tottenham as a yellow card has been shown to Castellanos for showing the imaginary red card to the referee Jared Gillett. So he's already been booked. But Porro, Romero, Van de Ven and Davis are the back four in front of Vicario. Gallagher and Gray, Simons, Tell, Odegaard and Colomouani. For West Ham United, white shirts and navy shorts, incidentally, as you'd expect for Tottenham. For West Ham, in their claret shirts and white shorts, Areola is in goal. A back four of Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Mavropanos and Skulls at left back, Soucek, Fernandez, and then you've got Bowen, Somerville, Pablo and Castellanos. But there's a lot of concern for already the 22-year-old Brazilian forward making his first start for the club and is requiring treatment for that head injury, Stephen.
Yeah, it was Conor Gallagher who wanted to set a tempo straight away. I don't know if you heard it, Deno, when his name was announced over the tannoy. There's a huge reception for Conor Gallagher. I think they're hoping that he's going to bring that tenacious edge to them. He's getting a big clap now, a big round of applause because he's back to his feet, but he was the one who went up for the header with Pablo, and it was aggressive, but I think Pablo just came off a little bit worse, but he's back on his feet now, which is a positive for the game.
And Jared Gillett, our referee, who actually took charge when these sides met in September and sent off Soucek with that early yellow card for Castellanos, who is, like Pablo, been brought to the club in January. So certainly Nuno Espirito Santo has been backed by the West Ham hierarchy by spending £50 million so far in January. But both look like they're able to continue. They'll just have to, in fact, they indeed shake hands down on the touchline, as they'll have to wait at least the 30 seconds to come back onto the field of play. So 5 Live Sport here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in North London, where there is blue sky up above. It is Tottenham 0, West Ham United 0. West Ham are playing from left to right as we look, as all of a sudden now they can come forward with Fernandez and out towards Wan-Bissaka to Bowen, and Davis is quick to snap into the challenge. I think that's at the very least what the two sets of supporters would expect, is fight and desire.
Yeah, I think certainly from a Spurs point of view, being a home team, they want front foot aggressive football, a team that's going to attack the opposition, not play backwards and sideways. I think from West Ham's point of view, coming here today, it's about being organised, but trying to counter-attack as often as they can and having that quality when given the opportunity in front of goal.
The voice of Stephen Warnock on BBC Radio 5 Live, as we will go to Chris Coles at Anfield.
Early chance for Liverpool, still 0-0 with Burnley. Milos Kerkez, the left-back, well positioned inside the penalty area, should have gone for goal, try to square it, Burnley clear off the line. Liverpool 0, Burnley 0.
Tottenham on the right-hand side with a throw, coming forward, Porro's cross into the penalty area, scuffed a little bit by Tell, and he hit it right-footed over the top, just couldn't get a clean strike as it came towards him.
Well, it's a poor strike and it's poor composure, not only from Tell but also from Odegaard as well. Coming in off that right-hand side, it's not great defending from Mavropanos, and he heads it down into the path of Odegaard, who lashes at the ball but strikes it into the ground, and then it falls in the way of Matthias Tell. I think take a touch, at least bring it down. He tries to get that ball above his hip, get it down low, but can't quite get the connection he wants. Big opportunity though for Spurs early on.
Certainly was. Mavropanos stops the attack there for Simons. Burton Albion are leading Huddersfield Town by a 1-0 in League One, as the ball is chipped away downfield by the West Ham goalkeeper, repelled by the head of Romero, and then the ball threaded through. It was Odegaard who looks for Simons. Sliding into it there was Mavropanos. Gillingham 0, Newport County 1. Newport County bottom of League Two, only 1 win in 10, but they've taken the lead at Priestfield. As here is an opportunity now for Tell on this near side, the left-hand side of the penalty area. Davis in support. Welsh international swings over the cross. It's high, it'll drop. Colin Mawani tries to touch it back towards Porro, but Solden short. Somerville with the interception, and West Ham will get a throw on the far side. Livingston 0, St Mirren 1 is the latest score in the Scottish Cup 4th round.
And Spurs have got the forward players of Tell on the left-hand side, Odegaard on that right, and Simons in the hole, and already within the first 5 minutes they've managed to get those players on the ball in behind the midfield, two of Fernandes and Souček, so that'd be a concern for Nuno Espirito Santo when he's watching from the sideline.
Notice as well that Simons is trying to get as close as he can to Colin Mawani.
Yeah, I think that's the key, isn't it? Is making sure that he's got support. It draws the attention away from just two centre-backs marking a centre-forward. You've got to get players high up the pitch, and the one thing Thomas Frank spoke about when he was manager at Brentford was that he felt his team then was one of the best counter-pressing teams in Europe. Well, you've got to make sure that your players are high up the pitch, so that if you do lose possession, that you can press very quickly.
Talk of Europe, the Champions League back next week. We will bring you 3 commentaries in the Champions League. We've got an early start on Tuesday at 5:45 in the Arctic Circle. Bodo Glimt against Manchester City, 5:45, and then back here at Tottenham on Tuesday night for the visit of Borussia Dortmund, and then Newcastle PSV on Wednesday evening. But before that, a whole host of Premier League games to bring you here on BBC Radio 5 Live, as we welcome listeners to the BBC World Service. Wherever you are in the world, it is a pleasure to have your company here in North London, where it is Tottenham Hotspur 0, West Ham United 0, and we've been playing for 6.5 minutes. As here is Van der Ven. Spurs are playing from right to left as we look. Davis will stroke the ball back to the Dutchman, and then it goes across to a stationary Romero, and then he will knock it back towards Van der Ven. And they're quite happy at this stage just to knock it across that back four, with no real pressure being applied by the West Ham front line.
Yeah, they're just holding the ground, aren't they? But Spurs being patient, waiting for the two midfielders, and now they've found a way out down that right-hand side.
And it was Odegaard who was closed down by Fernandes, and the last touch came off the West Ham midfielder. And in front of that travelling support that has made the short journey to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, in that far right-hand corner where the West Ham fans are housed, Tottenham will take this corner kick. The cry of "Come on, you Spurs," as Matthias Tell is the one player who wanders across to take it, and will just adjust the ball ever so slightly. They have been a threat at corners, and West Ham actually have conceded a Premier League high of 12 from corner kicks this season. And it comes from the right, deep, aimed towards Romero. Mavropanos should get the ball away, and some. He has clattered that away downfield. Porro is the player tasked to bring it under control, and succeeds back towards Vicario, all in blue, away towards our right. We'll go to Sunderland next. Julia Bolt.
It's Sunderland 0, Crystal Palace 0. Sunderland were in control, but a couple of chances for Crystal Palace just now. Mateta beat the keeper, Alderete cleared it off the line. Mateta again has just shot straight at the keeper. The follow-up though by Brennan Johnson went over the bar, still 0-0.
Thanks, Julia. 0-0 here as well. Gray, Van der Ven out to Simons, who now plays the ball early towards Tell, but it'll be tidied up by Mavropanos back towards Areola. West Ham United, who have only kept one clean sheet all season, and certainly nothing under Nuno Espirito Santo. No clean sheet in the 17 games that he has taken charge of, and he's actually facing his former club for a third successive game. He'll hope it fares better than it did after defeats against Wolves and Nottingham Forest for the Portuguese coach. Spurs win the ball back in midfield. Porro is able to come onto that ball, but he's quickly closed down by Pablo running back. Scarles will play it. Fernandes wriggles away from in between two Tottenham players and can come forward, and he looked to try and get the ball towards Castellanos, but it's seen back by Vicario as Tottenham deal with any threat.
Yeah, brilliant in midfield there, Fernandes, and just as Conor Gallagher went to close him down, he just scooped the ball past his leg, and then just didn't have that composure then to pick out the next pass. It was a simple pass down the line, overhit it, intercepted by Romero, and now Spurs look to build from the back again, and they've done that well so far in the first opening 10 minutes or so of this game.
Wrexham 0, Norwich City 1 is the latest score in the Championship. Wrexham, who've been going well of late, Phil Parkinson's side, have enjoyed 4 successive wins, but they are trailing to struggling Norwich at home, as we will go to Ellen Road. Mike Miney.
Still 0-0. First chance of the game came from the first corner. Harry Wilson took it for Fulham. He was linked with Leeds in the summer. Outswinging delivery. Header a couple of yards wide from Raul Jimenez. It's Leeds 0, Fulham 0.
Scarles clears only as far as Romero. His header goes towards Souček, who was sent off in the corresponding fixture at the London Stadium back in September for a challenge on Palhinha. Jared Gillett was the referee that day. He's once again the man in the middle here today as West Ham from the back with Todibo back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, I was just looking at the play then and the build-up, and one play we haven't mentioned is Castellanos. He hasn't touched the ball yet. He hasn't actually been anywhere near it because West Ham simply haven't had enough quality to build up from back to front to actually involve him into this game. So a game of patience for him so far, but they'll want him involved as much as they can get him on the ball.
£26 million capture from Lazio, 4.5-year deal that he signed. He got off the mark against Queen's Park Rangers last week in the FA Cup, which was their first win in 64 days. However, they haven't had a win in their last 10 in the Premier League as a Tottenham attack breaks down and Todibo back to Areola. Let's get news of that Norwich goal then, Molly Stevens.
Yeah, the Canaries' new signing left winger Ali Ahmed with the assist on debut. He fed the ball into the box, found Anis Ben Slimani on his right to slot home. Wrexham 0, Norwich 1.
The League One leaders, Cardiff City, beat Bradford City 2-1 at Valley Parade. Behind them are Lincoln. There's been a goal at Kenilworth Road. Angus Patterson.
It's Luton 0, Lincoln City 1, so Lincoln on track to cut Cardiff's lead back to 4 points. It's Freddie Draper heading in at the far post from Jack Moylan's right-footed cross. Luton 0, Lincoln 1.
In League Two, Barnet are down to 10 men at Blundell Park. Grimsby 0, Barnet 0, but Joe Kizzy has been sent off after 11 minutes. You are up to date here on BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service. 0-0 here. Our commentary on Sports Extra comes from Stamford Bridge. John Southall.
Well, it's also 0-0, Chelsea 0, Brentford 0. Brentford have made the better start, but Chelsea with the one chance. Short back pass by Collins. Kelleher off his line quickly to deny Garnacho. Chelsea 0, Brentford 0.
Souček in the midfield, passes the ball back to Areola. Just had that one chance in the game so far for Tell.
Yeah, good opportunity, should have done better as the ball came into him. He should be at least making the goalkeeper work, but they've found themselves a little route down this right hand side at the moment. Good position.
Wan-Bissaka to Bowen. Bowen's cross strikes the knees of Davis, comes towards Souček. Bowen has stayed out wide near side the right, level with the penalty area. Back to Mavropanos in the Scottish Cup. Camelon Juniors 0, Elgin City 1. Partick lead Montrose by 1-0. As West Ham United with Scarles on that far side, the left. Todibo. Fernandez drops in between the two central defenders in the centre circle. It allows the fullbacks to push on, as Wan-Bissaka does on this near side, the right. Brings it under control with his right boot. Bowen is behind him. Livingston have equalised at home to St Mirren. It's now 1-1. Wan-Bissaka with a cross into the penalty area. Somerville hooked goalwards by Castellanos and drops wide. And judging by his reaction, that was possibly closer than it might have looked from here.
Yeah, it's a lovely turn and swivel from Castellanos. That's where he comes to life. He might not be involved in much of the game, but as the ball comes into him, Romero and Van der Ven, they stand off him by half a yard. Swivels, turns, tries to put it in that top right-hand corner. Very, very close. Vicario, you can tell from his reaction that he was rooted to the ground.
The ball has been put in the net, but the whistle had already gone. There was a trip from Castellanos on Van der Ven, who's stayed down. The West Ham supporters, I think, just enjoyed celebrating that, knowing that the whistle had possibly gone. And Castellanos, bearing in mind he was booked in the opening minute, does still have to be careful, does he?
Yeah, he does. I don't think there was too much in that one. It was a genuine attempt to go for the ball, but one thing I would say is that it's very dangerous from Mickey Van der Ven, taking that ball across the box. I know he's quick, but you step on the ball, you get it wrong, lead to a costly mistake.
Rotherham United, 7 successive defeats. Their last win was on the 8th of November. They have fallen behind at Stockport. Stockport 1, Rotherham 0, latest score in League One. West Ham are attacking. Somerville, left corner of the area. Somerville cuts inside, opens up for Somerville, takes a deflection, and West Ham United score. The deflection completely bamboozled Vicario. But West Ham United, inside a quarter of an hour, take the lead here at Tottenham. Such an important goal. And Somerville, will his first in the Premier League in 29 matches, gives them a precious advantage.
Well, he couldn't get out the half in the first 10 minutes, West Ham, but just in these last couple of moments, they've created opportunities. A lovely ball from Wan-Bissaka on this right-hand side led to that opportunity for Castellanos. This time they work it beautifully from front to back, out to the right-hand side. Somerville coming off that left-hand side now as the ball is switched into him. He just backs Pedro Porro into the penalty area, and Porro shows him inside. Conor Gallagher backs off him, and as he takes the shot, I think this comes off the backside of Castellanos. I think it's his goal. It's either him or Mickey van der Ven as the deflection, but I think it could be Castellanos.
Well, for the time being, it's been credited with Somerville after 15 minutes. Elsewhere, Crewe 1, Barrow 0, Kilmarnock 1, Dundee 0, Accrington 0, MK Dons 1. And you're up to date. There's a stoppage in play because there's a Tottenham player down. But for Thomas Frank, bearing in mind there were protests by an element of the Tottenham support before the game, it is the very last thing that Tottenham wanted was to concede the opening goal.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes were really positive from Tottenham in the way that they approach the game, and it's almost like they get to a certain point where they stop believing in what they're doing and they back off, and they allow the opposition to come back into the game. They allowed West Ham far too much freedom in the middle of the park just to build up and then switch the ball from right to left, and then the time that Somerville is given in the penalty area, it's not acceptable, it's not good enough. Players have to be accountable.
Well, a stretcher I think has been called for. Just looking around, it's Ben Davies, isn't it?
It was that tackle on the halfway line as he thumped into, I think it was Jared Bowen. He just tried to empty him. He tried to make sure that he took ball and man. He's actually injured himself, which is such a shame for Ben Davies.
And Jed Spence is already getting warmed up. So we'll go to Chelsea and John Southall.
Well, it's Chelsea 0, Brentford 0, but Cole Palmer had an opening on the edge of the penalty area. Here comes Garnacho, wins a corner on the left-hand side. Palmer on the edge of the area to the right of the D, over the bar. We've seen him score those. It is very quiet inside Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 0, Brentford 0.
Commentary of that is on Sports Extra. At 5:30 we'll be at the City Ground in the company of John Murray and Pat Nevin. Nottingham Forest against Arsenal. And after Manchester City's defeat that saw their 14-match unbeaten run come to an end at Old Trafford, losing 2-0, it means that Arsenal have a chance to go 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League.
I'll tell you what is a concern, Dano. Just watch the close-up of Ben Davies there. He's on gas and air, which tells you that this could be quite a significant injury.
Well, bearing in mind that Wales have got that World Cup playoff match against Italy in March to come. He's been such a vital player for Wales, but this is not looking good at all because his left leg, I notice, has been put in a brace as he's now been helped onto the stretcher. And Ben Davies, this looks a bad injury for him.
It does. What I would say in the build-up to that, when Ben Davies tries to take out Jared Bowen, fair play to referee Jared Gillett, who plays on. He could have easily blown up for a yellow card to Ben Davies, but he continued the game, and obviously it led to the goal. So good refereeing, but a real shame for the player.
It is. Spence is getting warmed up, but they're taking due care and attention of the stretcher bearers, and so Ben Davies is going to be carried off on a stretcher. He's only actually, this was his third start in the last 4 games. It was the first time that he started after coming into the side against Sunderland in the new year. But with his left leg in a brace, Davies is carried off on the stretcher, and Jed Spence will come on as we all go to Liverpool. Chris Coles.
Liverpool 0, Burnley 0, the first of what you think wouldn't be too many opportunities for Burnley. Anthony, good work on the left, into the box, pulled it back. Florentino on the rebound after it was cleared, fires over the crossbar, only just. Liverpool 0, Burnley 0.
Northampton 0, Wycombe 1, Crewe 2, Barrow 0, the latest scores in League 1 and League 2 respectively. Tottenham Hotspur are trailing here to West Ham United by a goal to 0. It's live on 5 Live, the BBC Sounds app, and also the World Service as Somerville goes scampering downfield. Pablo tried to get there first, but it was Van der Ven who beat both West Ham players to it, and Tottenham clear up towards the halfway line. Tell is out-muscled by Wan-Bissaka. They try and win it back, and then there was a foul by Fernandes on Simons, and it will be a free kick, but Bowen wins the ball back on the halfway line for West Ham United. Gallagher, though, quick to hold him off, and he will run back and avert any danger as Spence then gives away a free kick. We'll go to Southampton in the Championship. James Gregg.
And it's a goal for Kyle Joseph for Hull. Beautiful curling effort that left Perez stranded and wrong-footed. The visitors lead. It's Southampton 0, Hull 1.
That throw on the right-hand side. Bowen, Wan-Bissaka. Tell put a hand on his shoulder. Wan-Bissaka kept on running. Souček throws himself forward. Simons will bring the ball clear for Tottenham. He's got Kolo Muani going ahead of him. Mavropanos then with a shoulder barge. The referee didn't see anything in that, and the ball will run through all the way towards Areola. Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, he did well there, Mavropanos, because he just knew that he wasn't going to win the foot race. So one thing he's got to do is run the same line, get your body across him. Big strong arm, pushes him out the way. No free kick. A little bit of desperation there from Kolo Muani.
Here is Mavropanos. Kolo Muani looks to try and close him down. He's yet to score in the Premier League this season, and indeed he's actually only scored in one game, although it was a match against Paris Saint-Germain where he bagged himself a brace. As Spence forward on this near side for Tottenham. They're playing from right to left as we look. Here is Spence inside, laid off there by Tell. Simons comes forward, just outside the penalty area, edging his way forward, goes for a shoot, and the shot is curling into the West Ham United supporters. To Stamford Bridge next, John Southall.
Our best chance of the game, and to Brentford. Chelsea 0, Brentford 0. Kevin Schade into the area, cut inside. Chalobah should have hit a shot, pulled it back across, off a defender, saved by Sanchez. Chelsea 0, Brentford 0.
Earlier in the Scottish Cup fourth round, Dunfermline knocked out Hibs by 1-0. Neil Lennon causing that upset against his old side, Motherwell Ross County. The latest from Kenny Crawford.
20 minutes gone, Motherwell 0, Ross County 0. The hosts have had the best chance. to Wanda Mastronis's shot cleared off the line by Alex Iacoviti. Motherwell 0, Ross County 0.
Somerville with a cross. Castellanos on the stretch, couldn't gather it in. Just bobbled away from him from 6 yards out from goal.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he needed to take the touch there, Castellanos. I think he should just hit it first time, but everything good at the moment coming down that left-hand side from Somerville. He's the one who gets the cross in, beats Van der Ven. I think Castellanos, he should just swing a left boot at it.
Kolo Muani tries to run away from Scholes on that far side, looks for the ball in field. Souček was running back before Gallagher could get there. Slid into the challenge, but Tottenham keep it alive. Simons back towards Gray, looking for an equaliser midway through the first half. West Ham United lead by 1-0. Here is Spence, passes the ball towards Romero, and now it is with Odobert who goes into a central area. West Ham have dropped off. Every claret shirt is behind the ball as they defend, playing from left to right as we look. Lincoln City are looking to reduce Cardiff's lead at the top to 4 points. We knew they were 1-0 up at Kenilworth Road. There's been another goal. Angus Patterson.
And the Imps have doubled their lead. Luton 0, Ipswich 2, and it's Rob Street with a tap-in. Free kick from the right, headed back across by Hamer, and Street was there to tap it just over the line from a foot out. Luton 0, Lincoln 2.
Luton have been going well at home as well. 7 unbeaten at home in League One. Peterborough United 0, Plymouth Argyle 1 is also a latest score in League One. And you're up to date with the goals as they go in. As Romero on the halfway line passes the ball to Van der Ven. He's instructed to pass it out wide to this near side the left, and Spence runs forward with real vigour. Left corner of the area, infield to Simons, back out now towards Tell with a cross, takes a deflection, hangs in the air, opportunity. What a block that was as it fell to Spence at the near post. It looked a certain equaliser for Tottenham.
God, he should score. Jed Spence should score. Odobert should score, but they come again, Spurs.
Gray inside, Fernandes with the interception. That will offer encouragement to these beleaguered Tottenham supporters as Somerville is taken out by Van der Ven, but the referee plays a good advantage and West Ham get the ball up towards Bowen. He looks for Pablo in the area, slightly forced out wide, and he wins the corner. Excellent refereeing from Jared Gillett.
Yeah, that's twice now, the opening goal and then that opportunity there where Van der Ven just clatters one of the West Ham players. I'm not sure who it was, but I think Jared Bowen gets this wrong. He hits the pass, overweight, too much on it. I think he should go and take Romero on in the box. I think it's an absolute perfect opportunity for him. But at the other end of the pitch, Odobert with an opportunity, saved by Areola, and then as it came out, he makes another save from Jed Spence. Outstanding goalkeeping.
It was, he reacted very quickly, got his knee to get the block in on Spence, but Spurs oh so close to making it 1-1. Now they've got to contend with this corner kick. Somerville to take it, crowded area, and at the far post, Castellanos. He slams his right palm down into the ground in frustration. It possibly came at him too quickly.
Yeah, I think he'd made his run. It was almost a fraction behind him as it came into him. I think he should do better though. It's a brilliant opportunity for him. West Ham have had the best opportunities in this game. They've created some really good chances.
Far post header that went wide. Swindon 0, Salford City 1 is the latest score in League 2. And there's been another goal at Wrexham. Molly Stevens. Unable to get to Molly at the moment. I can tell you though that Sam Smith has got the equaliser for Wrexham. So Wrexham 1, Norwich 1. And I told you that Salford were leading at the county ground. Nikesh Ragani.
The left foot into the near post. Oliver Turton with a nice flick on header. Swindon Town 0, Salford City 1.
In League 2 also, Oldham 0, Cheltenham 1. The mood inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is changing.
Yeah, it is, because the first 10 minutes or so was slick. It was incisive football, the way they were playing. There was a real belief, and that goal has changed the atmosphere around the stadium, but it's also changed the belief of the players. They're starting to question that first pass, that natural pass that way they were playing. They started overhitting things, overthinking the way that they're playing the game.
Well, there have been chances at either end, but it's West Ham United through that deflected effort from Somerville. He's got his first goal in 29 games against Queen's Park Rangers in the FA Cup. His first of the season, and now he's scored in back-to-back games as Tell will run forward for Tottenham. Runs straight into Fernandez. The loose ball given away by Pablo to Audebert. Goes out wide, right. Porro back inside to Gallagher. Gallagher gives it to the Spurs right back level of the area. Sends in the cross. Waiting with Simons. Wan-Bissaka's tucked in the left back to head the ball away. We'll go to Stamford Bridge. John Southall.
Well, Chelsea have the lead. Chelsea 1, Brentford 0. Long VAR check. João Pedro, though, finally given the goal, rifled it into the roof of the net. They checked for offside. He was just on Pedro, and Chelsea lead Brentford by a goal to 0.
Liam Rossini's first Premier League game, and that is live on Sports Extra. Ball goes out wide left for Tottenham Hotspur. Tell shoots. It was always going away from goal, right-footed. They might applaud, but I don't think Areola was duly worried.
No, he was never worried at all. I think it's just the intent from Matthias Tell on that left-hand side, nipping inside on the right, trying to take on Wan-Bissaka, who gives him an opportunity to take the shot, but it's wild.
Clarence House chase will be getting underway at Ascot very soon. John Hunt.
They're parading for it. Il était temps is the hot favourite to win for Willie Mullins and Paul Townend. But Ian, the big news in the last hour is that John Bon should have been ridden by Harry Cobden. Cobden injured earlier this afternoon, and James Bowen takes the ride.
That is interesting news. Thank you, John. We'll be back with you for the commentary. Huddersfield have equalised at Burton. Burton 1, Huddersfield Town 1 in League 1. Barnsley lead Blackpool at Oakwell by a goal to 0. Whilst we're away getting that racing news, Somerville has just flashed a shot wide. He's causing a bit of a nuisance for himself, isn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's been excellent in the way that he attacks players.
As Vicario passes the ball out towards Van der Ven. To Anfield next, Chris Coles.
Liverpool getting closer, 3 decent openings to find the opening goal. Ekitike's shot parried by Dubravka, a Gakpo header over, and just moments ago Jeremy Frimpong's volley well hit but cleared off the line. Still Liverpool 0, Burnley 0.
Simons for Tottenham, gets a diagonal ball out towards Tell. Tell enters the penalty area left hand side, flicks the ball back to Simons, and Fernandez was able to challenge. Gray wins it back for Tottenham, back up towards Tell. Tell gets away from Mavropanos, who recovers ever so well at the second time to force the ball and nudge it behind for a corner kick. Tell you what, Tottenham have looked a threat down this left side.
Yeah, Tell started the game extremely well. He's been the one player who every time he picks it up, he's not looking back, he's not playing safe, he's trying to take people on. I think he got a little bit fortunate here. I thought the defending from Mavropanos was really good, and he nicked it off Tell, and it should have been a goal kick, but Spurs have got themselves a corner.
Fernandez has stayed down, so he's just being actually helped to his feet by the referee, Jared Gillett. He's not going to come off the pitch. I think that's one of those situations where the ref will say to him, look, if you leave the field, you're going to have to be off for at least 30 seconds. Are you fit to continue? And therefore he runs back into the penalty area waiting for this corner kick. Away towards our left-hand side. Tottenham with the corner. In it goes towards the near post, aimed towards Romero, headed out by West Ham, only as far as Porro. Helped out back towards Tell by Simons, who stays in that vicinity. Challenge comes in from Somerville, and Simons then passes the ball forward, cut back by Wan-Bissaka, blocked by Fernandes. Only as far as Tell once again. It's a low ball this time, doesn't get past Scarles. It'll rebound to where it came from again on the left, where Tell trying to wriggle away. Sliding in was Bowen, and West Ham should clear. As there's been a goal at the Stadium of Light. Julia Bolt.
It's Sunderland 0, Crystal Palace 1. Jeremy Pino, a corner came in, no one could get on the end of it. He ran onto it on the 6-yard box and has hit it into the top right corner. It's Sunderland 0, Crystal Palace 1.
After a tough week and 9 games without a win in all competitions, Palace could possibly do with that news. Fleetwood 0, Cambridge United 1. Gillingham have equalised at home to Newport County, and you're up to date with the goals as they go in. As we go to the Rugby Union now, James Burridge.
10 minutes gone, Stormers lead Leicester by 7 points to 0. Lovely break on halfway, finished off by the back row Evan Roos, try converted, and things have gone from bad to worse because Leicester have had Will Hurd sent off for 10 minutes for a high tackle. Stormers lead 7-0, 11 minutes gone.
Commentary on Sports Extra 2, you can get that through the BBC Sounds app. Swindon 0, Salford City 2, Crewe 2, Barrow 1. Penalty at Anfield, Chris Coles.
Penalty to Liverpool. Dominic Szoboszlai, Anfield Road end over it after Gakpo was fouled by Florentino's trailing leg. This to give Liverpool the lead over Burnley, who have defended well to this point. Szoboszlai against Dubravka. He hits the bar. Szoboszlai hit it well, but it crashes off the face of the bar and to safety. Still Liverpool 0, Burnley 0.
Sunderland 0, Crystal Palace 1, goalless at Ellen Road. Chelsea lead Brentford by a goal to 0 earlier in the Manchester derby. United beat City at Old Trafford by 2 goals to 0. Told you that Salford were leading 2-0 at Swindon. Nikesh Ragani.
Yeah, absolutely bossing this one down. Long ball into the box. Ball was cushioned into the path of Kelly and Mai on the left-hand side of the area. Right-footed shot into the bottom corner. Swindon Town 0, Salford City 2.
Fernandes is down, Stephen. I just wonder when, he had that earlier stoppage and the referee said, look, you're going to continue, if it's a recurrence of a problem.
Yeah, I think what happened, Denno, was it was the tackle from Archie Gray. As he hit Archie Gray hit him in a challenge, he hit his head off the floor and he got back up and the referee was like, are you okay to carry on? And he was like, yeah. And then as play continued, he just dropped to the floor on the far side. So I think it was a concern that because it was a head injury, the referee, Jared Gillett, wanted to step in very quickly, and rightly so.
They've stuffed a white swab at one of his nostrils as well, as he looks like he's going to be okay to continue, but he is going to just temporarily have to leave the field of play. Another goal on Wearside, Julia.
It's Sunderland 1, Crystal Palace 1. It only took a couple of minutes for the equaliser. Enzo Lefebvre was centre of goal, sent it into the back of the net as it came in from the right-hand side. It's all square at Sunderland.
They are still unbeaten at home. Indeed, they're only one of 3 sides who are still unbeaten in all 4 divisions in England. Arsenal are the other in the Premier League, and Bromley make up that trio of sides. Sandy Woodman, who's doing such an excellent job for Bromley at the top of League 2, although their winning run did come to an end today. After 7 successive wins, they were held at Chesterfield to a goalless draw. However, they are still 6 points clear at the top of League 2. As West Ham play resumes, ball forward by Mavropanos for Wan-Bissaka. Spence will get there, back it goes towards Vicario. We'll go to Southampton in the Championship, James Gregg.
Hull have made it 2. Charlie Hughes at the back stick from a corner from the left-hand side, nodded so simply past a jam-packed box. It's Southampton 0, Hull 2.
We're going racing. It's the Clarence House Chase in the company of John Hunt.
A top 2-mile race, 8 weeks out from the Cheltenham Festival. The Queen Mother Champion Chase will be their objective there. Gidley Park's just been pulled up, so we're down to 3 runners now, and it's Thistle Ask, this magnificent improving horse, out in front with 5 left to jump. John Bon in second, now ridden by James Bowen. Harry Cobden, his intended rider, injured earlier this afternoon, and Il Était Temps last of the 3. He's the hot favourite as they take the next fence, but he hasn't been jumping with particular fluency, and he just fluffed his line slightly there. He's now closing in past John Bon into second place, but Thistle Ask still the one to catch. He keeps on jumping brilliantly, and at the third last, Il Était Temps just made a small mistake. John Bon looks to be toiling in third, and Thistle Ask is out in front, 3 lengths clear. They turn for home. It's a long way still yet to gallop. 2 more fences left to take. Thistle Ask, the outsider of the 4. Il Était Temps ridden along in behind him now in second place. John Bon trying to rally on the outside, and he is closing again. Thistle Ask, is he getting too weary? Second last fence, he still led. Il Était Temps fell. He was very tired at the time, and now it's a straight match between Thistle Ask and John Bon, who is trying to close. Down to the final fence they come. Thistle Ask only just in front. John Bon draws alongside him at the last. Thistle Ask jumped really well. John Bon trying to go by him. John Bon now just noses on. John Bon by a length now. John Bon's going to beat Thistle Ask. Only 2 finish in the Clarence House Chase, and John Bon is the winner, just like 12 months ago. Unlike 12 months ago when he was an odds-on favourite, he wasn't particularly well fancied today, but with Il Était Temps running below par, Gidley Park pulled up, he only had Thistle Ask to beat, and he managed to do that by 3 lengths. John Bon, the big race winner at Ascot.
Thank you, John, and here it is West Ham who still lead by a goal to 0. They've just put the ball in the back of the net, but it looked like Jared Bowen was offside, Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, as the corner came in, it was Thomas Souček who had an opportunity to just chest the ball towards Vicario and put it into a goal after a shot from Somerville, and Jared Bowen half a yard offside quite comfortably. But it was worrying times again for Spurs there. They're all over the place at the back, Deno. They can't get close to this front 3 of West Ham, and West Ham going forward look at danger every single time, and you can hear that anxiety around the stadium.
You can, the frustration, because Spurs are so ponderous at the back with Vicario, the ball at the feet, no urgency whatsoever, but there's been urgency from West Ham. Bowen's looked lively, Somerville's been a threat, West Ham are 1-0 up, they have created the better chances, and it is they who lead by a goal to 0 as Gray keeps the ball in play on this near side towards Spence. Porro runs forward totally unmarked if Spence can get the ball out towards him, and he succeeds with a searching diagonal ball. And now Porro links up with Audebert. Early ball in from Porro. Mavropanos on the volley clears, comes out towards Gray, doesn't shoot, passes the ball out wide to Porro. Porro's shot takes a deflection, and Todibo beaten to the ball by Colin Mawani, so Spurs quickly win it back on that right hand side. Porro able to turn inside the area, and there is Wan-Bissaka to get the ball away. Another goal at Kenilworth Road, Angus Patterson.
Luton 1, Lincoln 2. The Hatters have a goal back, and it's Gideon Kodua. He missed a sitter earlier, but was waiting at the far post from a corner to the left. Luton 1, Lincoln 2.
And our featured game in League 2, there's been another goal. Nikesh Regani.
Swindon Town giving themselves a lifeline here. A corner from the left, swung in towards the near post. Joel McGregor with a flick on into the back of the net. Swindon Town 1, Salford City 2.
Northampton have equalised at Sixfields. Northampton 1, Wycombe 1 is the latest score in League 1. You're up to date. 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds. 7 minutes to go to half-time. Spurs are behind. They're being urged on. Tottenham, who've won just 4 of their last 24 home games in the Premier League. Colin Mawani tries to stretch that West Ham defence, runs in behind, right corner of the area, held up by Todibo. Colin Mawani falls to the floor. The supporters think that should have been a free kick for the home team. Jared Gillett says otherwise as Somerville makes a diagonal run. Gray dives in, not sure, the referee's played the advantage. Spence then stops the run of Bowen. The referee will bring play back. Archie Gray's going to get a yellow card.
Yeah, the initial sort of letting the play continue from Jared Gillett was outstanding as the challenge came in, but then I don't understand that when it goes into Jared Bowen and then there's a decent tackle on him, why'd you take the game back? I don't understand that part of refereeing, because it makes no sense. If he loses the ball after you've played on, you can't suddenly bring it back 10 yards and go, actually I'll give that now because you lost that tackle. Makes no sense whatsoever.
Let's go to Stamford Bridge. John Southall.
1 Brentford 0. Brentford here again on the far side with the volley straight to the goalkeeper. It was Jensen with it, and Jensen's just missed a great chance before that, 8 yards out, unmarked, hit the left post. Chelsea 1, Brentford 0.
Sheffield United drawing 0-0 away to Charlton are down to 10 men. Sumari has been sent off. Crewe now lead Barrow 3-1 in League 2. Updating the rugby, James Burridge.
Second try for Stormers, Venter crashing over from the line out. Excellent maul. Leicester had no answer. Stormers 12, Leicester 0, 11 minutes gone.
I remember travelling home from Fulham last week and listening to 5 Live with Vicky Sparks and Michael Brown, and Michael saying the reaction at half-time will be interesting as they were trailing to Aston Villa. They're trailing behind here again today, and as the free kick is taken, headed on by Souček, helped up by Mavropanos. What a stretching save that was by Vicario. He was at full length away towards his left, and he needed to be as well to keep out that looping header, otherwise West Ham were 2-0 up. Bowen now wins a corner for West Ham.
Well, that could just help with the team talk at half-time. It could make things a little bit easier because they might only be 1-0 down at half-time. That was an outstanding save. He was at full stretch to his left-hand side, Vicario. He does so well because he reads the header, shuffles his feet to the left-hand side, gets a big jump on from his feet, his standing feet, and pushes himself, tips it round the corner. That is a big moment in this first half.
Otherwise the mood would certainly be ugly at half-time, trailing 2-0 to West Ham United going in at the break. As it is, it's only the 1 goal between the two sides, but West Ham have a corner on this near side, the right. Scarles, Romero does well under a body of players to head it out inside the 6-yard area. Fernandes will pass the ball back to Wan-Bissaka, and Wan-Bissaka, now it's the West Ham supporters who turn and groan, because from inside the Tottenham half he goes all the way back to Areola, who goes long. Castellanos tries to head it towards Bowen, and Porro will head it back towards Vicario.
Made no sense from Wan-Bissaka. One thing that West Ham have done so well in this first half is being very positive with everything they've done. They've looked to get the ball forward as quick as possible, not being direct in terms of long ball, but looking for those central midfielders from defenders and then looking to hit the strikers as quick as they can. So, strange decision from Wan-Bissaka.
This could potentially take West Ham United to within 4 points of Nottingham Forest, who play against Arsenal in our next commentary after Sports Report at 5:30. They've missed a penalty, have Liverpool, but there's now been a goal at Anfield. Chris Coles.
But now they lead. Florian Wirtz gives Liverpool the lead. They have been dominant. They have missed chances. Wirtz didn't miss this one. Scruffy in the build-up. It fell to the German 8-9 yards out. He smashes it into the top corner to make it Liverpool 1, Burnley 0.
Looking to extend their unbeaten run to 12 games. Rotherham United have equalised at Stockport. Stockport County 1, Rotherham 1 in League 1. Tottenham looking for an equaliser, with Gray looking to take a quick throw on this near side, the left, in front of the main stand. We've got 2.5 minutes to go to half-time. Back it goes to Spence, a substitute in the first half for the injured Ben Davis, as Gallagher on his debut, signed from Atletico Madrid towards Romero. Romero gives it back to the England international, lets the ball settle, passes the ball out to Porro, early ball in towards Audebert, the former Burnley man, right-hand side. Porro has stayed with him, and Porro, forced out wide, will win a throw in front of the West Ham travelling support, about 6 yards up from the corner flag on that far side.
Best player on the pitch so far has been Fernandes for West Ham. He's been absolutely exceptional in that midfield area, composed on the ball, tenacious when he's had to go and close people down. He's the one who set the tempo for West Ham in this first half.
And it is a West Ham United side that is looking for their first win in the Premier League since the 8th of November. Again, the supporters of Tottenham are disgruntled because there doesn't appear to be much urgency or a great deal of movement for this throw that eventually is going to come in now from Porro, and again then they grow because he looks to take a long one and then complains and then passes it short, or throws the ball short, and it comes now. Gallagher rises and the header is going to drop tamely wide as Areola has it covered, and it will be a goal kick. Judging from what we can gather so far, I think these supporters, who, bearing in mind there was protests ahead of the game, are going to vent their feelings at the half-time whistle.
I think that's very I think that's set in stone unless they can get a goal before the half-time interval. But yeah, I don't think they'd be particularly happy with what they've seen, and that last passage of play tells you that there's just a little lack of understanding between what's going on the pitch between the players.
Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 1, Camelon Juniors 1, Elgin City 1 are latest scores in the fourth round of the Scottish Cup, as the goal kick falls to the feet of Bowen. His forward ball cut out by Romero. Pablo lays it back, Fernandez passes the ball out wide. This is now Scarles with the cross. Van der Ven's downward header goes straight towards Wan-Bissaka just outside the box. West Ham still lead by a goal to nil. He gives it away, presents it to Kolo Muani, Simons, but Mavropanos prevents the ball being returned to Kolo Muani, and West Ham United have the ball back with Wan-Bissaka. To John Southall at Stamford Bridge.
Chelsea 1, Brentford 0, should be 2-0 though. Neto down the right hand side, pulled it back for Garnacho, 4 yards out, had to score, somehow didn't. Chelsea 1, Brentford 0.
We're about to find out how much added time there will be. 8 minutes of stoppage time that we're now into here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham 0, West Ham United 1. Spurs are attacking with Audebert on that side, the right, the far side, the right. Gallagher infield, Porro gives it away. Oldham Athletic at Boundary Park have equalised against Cheltenham, 1-1 in League 2. And here there is going to be a yellow card shown by Jared Gillett for a foul.
Christian Romero.
Somerville.
It had to be, didn't it? You just knew he was going to get yellow carded at some point in this game. He doesn't need to make the foul, he doesn't need to step across Somerville. The ball into him isn't a great one. Somerville tries to let it roll across his body. Romero's so intent and desperate to get in front of him to pinch the ball. And I think that comes down to the performance of Tottenham in this first half, is that he just wants to get this crowd back up and back behind the team. But now he's walking a tightrope for the rest of the game.
He is, and just looking at it, I'm not too sure whether all of them are in the Premier League. No, they haven't. That is his 9th yellow card in the Premier League this season. Of course, he's just returned to the side after an additional one-match ban that ruled him out of the FA Cup tie against Aston Villa last week. Here is Pablo for West Ham. Still they have the slender advantage. Back to Souček. Souček passes the ball out wide, near side the right for Bowen. Bowen can't get over the cross. He's got to get past Spence. He edges his way over, delivers the ball in. Romero heads it away. Souček tries to get there. Simons beats him to it in the air. Drops towards Tell on the edge of his own penalty area. Manages to run away from 2 West Ham players. Passes the ball forward, but Mavropanos read that well. And then combines with Souček. And Mavropanos passes the ball in field. Blocked, tries to come back at him, catches Gallagher. Referee again has let the game flow. He's been good at that, as Jared Gillett today. At least the third decision where he's played the advantage, as Todibo comes across to deal with Simons and passes the ball back to Areola. West Ham still lead by a goal to nil. Here is Bowen, manages to get away from Gallagher. Bowen to Castellanos on this near side. The Argentine looks towards Pablo. Romero meets it first and clears it away for Tottenham. Stephen Warnock.
I was just looking at Mavropanos to see whether he'd pick up a book in there for a late challenge on Conor Gallagher. The 2 West Ham centre-backs, Todibo and Mavropanos, have been so good in this first half. They've been so aggressive in closing down. They've covered well when they've beaten the midfield. They're going to have to defend again here.
Kolo Muani out towards Porro. Porro has got space to run into. Fires over the cross. Areola gathers it in. Before that attack, I saw Thomas Frank, not once but twice, shout the words on the screen, calm. You can feel the anxiety from the supporters. He's trying to sort of like get them to be composed in the heat of the battle.
Yeah, there's a feeling that from the players' point of view. We'll come back to it.
Fernandez gives the ball to Somerville. Somerville now, edge of the area, cuts inside once again. Romero slides into the challenge. The ball loops up, comes towards Pablo, tries to turn and get the shot away. Pablo was caught there. Castellanos keeps the ball in play. Romero then takes it away off his toes, and Porro passes the ball forward. And Audebert is the one who, on the edge of his own penalty area, is dispossessed. And Scarles will run back on that left-hand side. Every outfield player is in the Tottenham half away towards our right. And we're into the 4th minute of the 8, minimum 8 to be played in this first half of stoppage time. Spurs still trail. Here is Fernandez. Sheffield United, incidentally, are now down to 9 men, as they're currently drawing 0-0 away at Charlton. A former Tottenham player, Tankanga, has been sent off. as here is Gray. Looks for the run of Odegaard. Sent clear on that right-hand side. Good tracking back by Somerville.
That work rate. That's what West Ham need. That ability to cover players. And Somerville, he's been really, really good in the first half. I was wondering whether he fancied the fight at West Ham. He's been one of the players who's took the fight to Spurs today.
Lincoln were 2-0 up. However, Angus Patterson.
It's Luton 2, Lincoln 2. What a response from Jack Wilshere's side. Naki Wells with a stunner, low shot from 23 yards to draw us level just before half-time. Luton 2, Lincoln 2.
So this free kick for Tottenham is midway through the West Ham half. And West Ham United, leading by a goal to nil, are going to bring everybody back to defend this set piece. It is going to be Tell who places the ball down. It is a good 15 yards in from the right touchline. It's quite central. They've only got Somerville standing behind the spray as just the one man. Doesn't constitute the wall. Here, and it comes from Tell, headed out by Scarles, only as far as Porro. This now is with Simons, passes the ball back to Odegaard. Accrington 0, MK Dons 2 is the latest score in League 2. Simons chips the ball in the penalty area, helped on by the head of Romero, headed back by Gallagher, comes off the head of Mavropanos, like head tennis there in the middle. Colin Mawani back towards Tell, and again he's mishit that, and it runs away off his left foot, down into the ground and out for a goal kick as we go to James Burridge in the Rugby Union Champions Cup.
Incredible turnaround. Leicester have now taken the lead against the Stormers, 14 points to 12. Two brilliant tries. The first from fullback George Pearson, off the line out, piercing line through the centre, and Sell converting. And then Will Wand made it look even better with a wicked step to score under the posts, and quite a turnaround in Cape Town. 14-12 Leicester lead, 29 minutes gone.
We're 6 minutes into the 8 added on here at Tottenham. There's Gray, manages to bring the ball over the halfway line for Tottenham. He's got Tell with him, not too far away. Tell on this near side, the left level of the area. Actually, it came off the legs of Spence and took it out of the path of Simons and enabled Mavropanos to pass the ball forward for West Ham on that far side, where Somerville helps it on its way down that left flank. Scarles passes the ball back into the West Ham half. Fernandez just steadying things in the midfield, calming things down. What would be your first half analysis then, Stephen Warnock?
Well, I thought Spurs started really well in the game, and then obviously West Ham found a way back into it. They found that little period of about 5 minutes and then capitalised on it. Lovely goal from Somerville. West Ham looked more organised, looked more like with more creativity, more ideas in the final third. There's only one way this game looks like it's going, and it looks like it could be a 2 or 3-0 victory to West Ham if they take the chances. Because Spurs have created very little. The opportunity for Odegaard, yes, he should score. From the follow-up, Jed Spence should probably score as well. But West Ham have created 4 or 5 really good opportunities.
Well, in the next 40 seconds or so, you will gauge the feeling of the Tottenham Hotspur supporters for yourself.
There's not many left in here.
As the ball played forward to Odegaard, helps it on its way as he makes a run into the inside right channel of the area, but hit it first time and it went straight through to Areola. That Somerville goal after a quarter of an hour, and they have had chances. They've also Castellanos twice and Bowen having a goal disallowed, but certainly the Mavropanos header as well from Vicario as Van der Ven back towards Porro, hits it high and hopeful downfield. Odegaard will make the change. By my watch, the 8 minutes are up. And there indeed is the half-time whistle. A cacophony of boos greet the half-time whistle by Jared Gillett, because West Ham United lead and Tottenham Hotspur, with this awful home record, are behind. Work to do for Thomas Frank at the break. It is Tottenham Hotspur 0, West Ham United 1.
What a big 45 minutes it is coming up for Spurs and Thomas Frank in particular. To Anfield, Liverpool lead at the break. Chris Coles.
Thanks to Florian Wirtz's finish 3 minutes shy of the break. Before that, it had the makings of one of those halves for Liverpool, largely frustrated by a defensively sound Burnley, missing their one big chance, the Boslai's penalty, crashing off the crossbar after Gakpo was tripped by Florentino. Dubravka's also made some fine saves, but Q Wirtz, ball laid back to him on a slight angle, 8 yards out, crisp finish into the top corner. Liverpool 1, Burnley 0.
Brentford may wonder how they're behind at the break, John Southall.
Absolutely, how's it only 1-0 as well? So many chances. Chelsea 1, Brentford 0. The goal itself, João Pedro took a touch inside the area and smashed it into the roof of the net after Brentford failed to clear. Just before the goal, Brentford missed a great chance. Schade cut inside Chalobah, 10 yards out, should have just hit it, crossed it off tossing, saved by Sanchez. Then 2 chances for Jensen. First hit the post, second volley straight at Sanchez, and then right on half-time, Garnacho missed an absolute sitter for the home side. Not much in this. Chelsea 1, Brentford 0.
Not much in it at the Stadium of Light either. Julia Bold.
Not at all. Sunderland 1, Crystal Palace 1 at the break, and after what's been a miserable week, the Palace fans had something to cheer on. 30 minutes when they went in front. Sunderland didn't clear with a corner, and it saw Jeremy Pino run onto that loose ball on the edge of the 6-yard box and hit it into the top right-hand corner to go in front, but it only lasted 3 minutes. Mukiel charging down the right, sent it into Lenzo Lefebvre, centre of goal, and he calmly slotted it beyond Dean Henderson. Mateta, just before the break, did have the ball in the back of the net as well. However, it was quickly ruled offside. Both sides have had some good chances. It's been end-to-end, but it's Sunderland 1, Crystal Palace 1 at the break.
Mike Minor, if people have been listening all afternoon, would you have had more fun at an empty Craven Cottage?
Yes, I would. No, to be fair, it's been well contested. Chances have been few and far between. Jimenez headed wide from a Wilson corner early for Fulham. Leeds grew into the game. The unsettled Bernd Leno for a bit, couldn't take advantage. Their best chance was when a ball was lifted over the Cottagers' defence. Brendan Aronson down the middle, then spooned it over a stranded Larson and well over into the south stand. Where the contest has come in, there's been a few crunching challenges, a few meaty tackles. Sasa Lukic has been booked on the pitch and off the pitch for complaining about that Sasa Lukic yellow card. Marco Silva went into the book as well, the Fulham boss. Leeds 0, Fulham 0.
Earlier in the Championship, the leaders' commentary came from a goal down to beat Leicester 2-1. Comfortable for Ipswich at home to Blackburn, finished 3-0 there, and a good win for Millwall at fellow playoff hopefuls Watford. They won 2-0. In the 3 o'clock games, only 2 have goals in them. We'll start at Deepdale, where it's goalless. Shojo Saka.
Yeah, Preston 0, Derby 0. Jack Walton in the Preston goal has been the busier, parrying away 2 corners. Derby defender Sondre Langas has had a header tipped over. He put another one wide. Preston have been really poor, barring a couple of long-range efforts which have both been off target. Derby much more fluent with the ball, but half-time it's goalless. Preston 0, Derby 0.
James Gregg does have goals.
Yeah, lucky me. Southampton 0, Hull 2. The visitors are good value for their lead and for their goals. So dangerous going forwards. Kyle Joseph with the first took advantage of a wondering keeper for his 8th of the season with an in-step sweet spot stunner, and then centre-half Charlie Hughes at the back post from an in-swinging corner nodding home through a packed box. Southampton have had chances. Zaz and Armstrong have both forced saves. Hull have, of course, got the whiff of the playoff spots in their nostrils at the moment. Half-time at St Mary's, Southampton 0, Hull 2.
Stoke and QPR are goalless. Sonny Rajavajala.
Yeah, Stoke excellent but wasteful where it counts. Telavierov wide from 5 yards, the worst of their misses. QPR toothless, slowing the play down, but Richard Kone should have scored, volleying wide from close range before the half hour. At the break, Stoke 0, QPR 0.
All square at Wrexham as well. Molly Stevens.
Started brilliantly. Winger Ali Ahmed got an assist for the first goal on debut. Anis Ben Slimani found the back of the net. Ahmed almost got a goal of his own but hit the crossbar. Frustrating watch for the home fans. That was until Sam Smith's head rised highest, guiding the ball into the back of the net for Wrexham, who have since dominated. Away from the game, the big news here though, Mark, is that Wrexham club captain James McLean is to leave the club to pursue another opportunity. A blow given his experience and 108 appearances here at Wrexham. It seems he's linked with a return to hometown club Derry City in the League of Ireland Premier Division. That is the news coming from the Wrexham CEO to our colleagues at BBC Wales. All square 1-1.
Thank you, Molly. Let's go to Hillsborough next. No win in their last 19 in the Championship for Sheffield Wednesday. They're level at the break. It is Naz.
Sheffield Wednesday 0, Portsmouth 0. Mark, a half of Championship football that lacked any kind of quality. Very few moments of note for either side. Barry Bannon found Svante Ingelsson, whose shot was across goal, and Terry Devlin fired wide early for the visitors. It's not at all good, this. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Portsmouth 0.
It's also Charlton 0, Sheffield United 0, and Sheffield United are down to 9 in that game. Straight red card for Sumare midway through the first half. On the stroke of half-time, Tanganga sent off for 2 yellow cards. So Chris Wilder's side down to 9, but it's goalless at the Valley. It's also goalless between Matt Bloomfield's Oxford and Bristol City. In League One earlier, Bradford 1, Cardiff 2, Wigan 0, Bolton 1. They're both full times. Game of the day in the 3 o'clocks at Kenilworth Road, and it hasn't disappointed, Angus Patterson.
It certainly haven't. Luton 2, Lincoln 2, good game this. Lincoln went ahead through Freddie Draper in the 11th minute. Luton then should have been level through Gideon Kodua, who blasted over the bar from 2 yards out. And Lincoln's Rob Street got the second. They looked on track to cut Cardiff's lead back to 4 points, but Luton came roaring back into it. Kodua made up for his error heading in at the far post from a corner, and then Naki Wells with the pick of the goals in first half stoppage time. Struck low from 23 yards into the bottom corner to level it up. I'm absolutely buzzing for the second half. Luton 2, Lincoln 2.
Elsewhere in League One, AFC Wimbledon got their first home win since the end of September during the week in the EFL Trophy. They're being held 0-0 though at the break by Doncaster. Barnsley lead Blackpool by a goal till. They've won just one of their last 7 of Conor Hurahan's side. Burton 1, Huddersfield 1, Exeter 0, Stevenage 0. Leyton Orient lead Reading by a goal to 0. Don Ballard got that, 13 for the season for him, just before half-time. Mansfield 0, Port Vale 0. Northampton, who have only got 1 win in their last 7, being held at the break by Wickham. It's 1-1 there. 2 informed teams in Peterborough and Plymouth, and that's going the way of the visitors at London Road. Peterborough 0, Plymouth 1. Arabin Peppel with the goal, 5 for the season for him. And at Edgeley Park, it's Stockport 1, Rotherham 1. Both sides have scored own goals in that game this afternoon. In League 2 earlier, leaders Bromley missed a late penalty at Chesterfield. It finished goalless there. Walsall in third won 3-1 at Tranmere. So let's go to Swindon in second, against Salford in fourth. Half-time score there from Nikesh Ragani.
It is. Swindon Town 1, Salford City 2, and after a slow start, the visitors went on to dominate most of the first half. They took the lead through an Oliver Turton header from a corner. That lead then doubled thanks to a Kelly and my strike, and at that point Salford were absolutely cruising, looking every bit like the side that's been unbeaten since the start of December. But Swindon just gave themselves a lifeline 10 minutes before half-time with Joel McGregor's flick-on header from a corner from the left. A really good performance from Salford, but Swindon still in this one. Swindon Town 1, Salford City 2.
Elsewhere in League 2 at the break, Accrington 0, MK Dons 2. They've got a dreadful away record of MK Dons. Won just one of their last 6 away from home in the league, but they're going well this afternoon. Goalless between Bristol Rovers and Colchester, and Crawley and Notts County. Crewe unbeaten in their last 7 at home, lead Barrow by 3-1 at the break. Fleetwood 0, Cambridge 1. Sully Kaikai is Cambridge's top scorer. He scored again this afternoon, 7 for the season for him now. Gillingham 1, bottom of the table. Newport 1, Grimsby and Barnet are goalless, but Barnet are down to 10 in that game. Jordan Thomas's 5th of the season from the penalty spot put Cheltenham a goal up at Boundary Park, but Oldham's Joe Garner equalised there, so it's 1-1. Shrewsbury in 22nd against Harrogate in 23rd, and that is goalless at half-time. Earlier in the National League, Hartlepool beat Altrincham thanks to a late penalty by a goal to 0. At half-time, Brackley 2, Yeovil 1, Braintree 0, Boreham Wood 2. Goalless between Eastleigh and Aldershot. Halifax 1, Boston 1. Rochdale are a goal up at Gateshead. Morecambe 1, Scunthorpe 0. Solihull Moors 2, Carlisle 1. Sutton 0, Forest Green Rovers 1. But Forest Green Rovers are down to 10. Goalless between Truro and Tamworth, and Wealdstone and Woking. Earlier in the Women's FA Cup, London City Lionesses beat Sunderland 1-0. Holders Chelsea knocked out Crystal Palace by 5-0. In the Scottish Cup earlier, Dunfermline of the Championship beat Premiership Hibs by 1-0. At 3 o'clock kickoffs, we're with Motherwell against Ross County. Kenny Crawford.
The score is Motherwell 0, Ross County 0, and the hero of the first half was Alex Iacoviti, the Ross County defender, who acrobatically cleared off the line when from Tawanda Maswanise, the Zimbabwean's forward curling shot that that was goal bound, so well done to the Ross County defender. We'll just quickly mention Camelon Juniors, Mark, because they've equalised to make it 1-1 against Elgin, 6th tier Camelon Juniors. The man who scored the goal, Mark, is called Jordan Kirkpatrick, and it was him that scored the goal for Darvel when they put Aberdeen out in 2023.
Thank you very much. Elsewhere in the Scottish Cup, so Camelon Juniors 1, Elgin 1, as Kenny says. Airdrieonians 1, Arbroath 0, Dundee United 0, Ayr 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 1, Kilmarnock a goal up at home to Dundee, Livingston 1, St Mirren 1, Partick 1, Montrose 0, Spartans 0, Inverness 0, and Stenhouse Muir are 2-0 up on Morton. In Scottish League 1, Peterhead 1, Hamilton 1, and in League 2, Stirling 0, East Kilbride 2. In Rugby Union's Champions Cup earlier, Sharks beat Claremont by 50 points to 12. James Burridge is watching Stormers against Leicester.
Really eventful first 40 minutes, Mark. Stormers leading by 15 points to 14. They took a 2-try lead through Roos and Venter, but then Leicester sparked themselves into life. 2 brilliant tries. The first from Pearson, the second from Wand, both off the line-out, both right through the heart of the Stormers. And Wand's try in particular, absolutely wicked step to score under the posts. Searle will be cross with himself because he missed an absolute sitter of a penalty in front of the post to extend the lead. In the end, it was Feinberg and Ngoma Zulu who took their penalty on the stroke of half-time. So the Stormers lead 15-14 at the first 40 minutes.
In the other game that's taking place at the moment, again at half-time, Bayonne 10, Leinster 3. John Higgins fighting back in the snooker, Jamie Broughton.
Yes, he is. John Higgins trails Judd Trump by 4 frames to 3. Higgins made a 57 break to win frame 7 and closed the gap to within 1 frame after Trump had made a 46 break. The Scottish star was 3-0 down at one stage, so he's digging in. 6 is the target for a place in the final. Most games back underway in the Premier League. In fact, they're all back underway, bar the one at Tottenham because we had so much first half injury time. Let's just take the news. Jill McKenzie, 4:05.
The voice of the UK. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
For the first time, Iran's supreme leader has publicly acknowledged that thousands of people have been killed during recent protests that started over the economy but turned into demonstrators against rulers. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei blamed the US for the deaths after President Trump urged people to keep protesting. Police say 14 people were arrested last night at demonstrations outside the Iranian embassy in London, mainly on suspicion of violent disorder and trespass. The Met says 4 officers have minor injuries after the protest. The first legally binding global agreement protecting biodiversity in the high seas has come into effect. The UN treaty governing the seabed area beyond national waters covers more than 2/3 of the ocean. And a 100-metre-high space rocket is moving slowly to its launch pad in Florida. The Artemis 2 will take 12 hours to travel 4 miles to the Kennedy Space Center, ready for the first crewed mission to the moon in more than 50 years.
If you like this...
What are you telling me? You're a traitor?
Yes! Get in there! Then you'll love the final week of The Traitors Uncloaked. We'll get to see how the final few faithful react when they find out who the traitors are. And we'll chat to celebrity fans to hear their theories on what's going to happen next.
This is mega. I feel like I'm back in the game.
They've done it again. I was absolutely hooked.
See and hear it all in the nail-biting last week of The Traitors Uncloaked, the official visualised companion podcast with me, Ed Gamble. Watch on iPlayer, listen for more on BBC Sounds.
With Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Burnley have gone close in the second half at Anfield. Chris Coles.
Marcus Edwards inside the Liverpool penalty area, probably the most space he's found in this game. He was allowed to turn, but he miscued his right foot shot. It still nearly crept in, but that's better from Burnley, who are now having to push for this equaliser. With 5 minutes of the second half played, Liverpool 1, Burnley 0.
As the second half begun at Stamford Bridge, John Southall.
A bit calmer than the first half. Chelsea 1, Brentford 0. Chelsea just dominating possession at the moment, as the manager likes, passing it around at the back, building up from the back, but it's Chelsea 1, Brentford 0.
Elsewhere, still Leeds 0, Fulham 0 and Sunderland 1, Crystal Palace 1. They're all back underway, still waiting for the second half to start. At the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the players only just coming back out with West Ham a goal up. Back to Stephen and Ian.
Thank you, Mark. What a 45 minutes lie ahead for Tottenham Hotspur and their beleaguered manager, Thomas Frank. They trail by a goal to 0. And they have made a change, and for the first time this season, Yves Bissouma who you might recall was dropped ahead of the UEFA Super Cup clash against Paris Saint-Germain back in August due to lateness, features for the first time under Frank. I mean, since then he has been besieged by injury with ankle and knee problems, and of course he's just returned from the African Cup of Nations where they reached the quarter-finals, beaten by Senegal in a game where he was sent off, but he now comes on as a half-time substitute for Archie Gray. I will give you the lineups very, very soon. Exeter City 1, Stevenage 0 is the latest score in League One. Partick Thistle 2, Montrose 0 in the Scottish Cup, as West Ham almost get the ball off Tottenham inside the penalty area, but there was a foul there on Gallagher. But before I do that, we're going to go to Wrexham in the Championship and Molly Stevens.
Yeah, where it's Wrexham 1, Norwich 1. The players have, though, just been taken off the pitch here 4 minutes into the second half due to a medical emergency in the crowd. Paramedics and medical staff are seeing to the incident, and the players and staff are now back in the dressing room. It's 1-1.
OK, keep us posted, Molly, with that. So West Ham lead by 1-0 as Tottenham Hotspur, attacking that giant south stand away towards our right-hand side, are trailing by 1-0. They have Vicario in goal. A back four of Porro, Romero, Van der Ven and Spence, a first-half substitute for the injured Davis. Gallagher, now Basuma, Simons, Tell, Muani and Odobert. White shirts, navy shorts, playing from left to right against a West Ham side in their claret shirts and white shorts that have Areola in goal. A back four of Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Mavropanos and Scholes, Soucek, Fernandez, with Bowen, Somerville, Castellanos and Pablo. Here is Romero, one of 3 Tottenham players who were booked in the first half. Gallagher running back inside his own half, a little stumble, he thought he'd been impeded, tidies the ball up back towards Vicario. Only 2 home wins is the lowest ever after 10 games in a league campaign for Tottenham. There have been no home comforts, there have been none so far in this performance here today, as Porro links up with Odobert, and Todibo can't keep the ball in play, but to lose to one of your arch rivals as well will just only add salt to the wounds. As Gallagher infield to Basuma, Basuma goes square, Spence comes into a midfield area now. Basuma almost finds Spence, who'd continued his run. Simons keeps it alive, trotting the ball out towards Tell. Left hand side, Tell shows too much towards Bowen, but though Tell wins it back. Simons inside to Basuma. Basuma shapes to shoot, and the keeper spills it and then dives on the ball. But that was better from Tottenham.
Yeah, it was really good, and Basuma started the second half really well since coming on as a substitute. He's been on the ball, he's been involved. It's a lovely strike. The only thing is it's right down the neck of the goalkeeper. He's very comfortable in the save, but positive from the off from Spurs.
Vital game down at the bottom of League Two. Shrewsbury 0, Harrogate Town 0. Harrogate, without a win since the 27th of September, are down to 10 men. Jack Evans has been sent off early in the second half. Reading have equalised at Leyton Orient. Leyton Orient 1, Reading 1 in League One. Start of the second half, Chelsea-Brentford. Commentary on Sports Extra, John Southall.
Chelsea still lead Brentford by 1-0, but another Brentford chance. Kevin Schade through on goal. Sanchez saved with his left foot. Good save, but how many chances have Brentford missed? Chelsea 1, Brentford 0.
Crawley 0, Notts County 1. So a London derby in West London, a London derby here in North London. And West Ham United have lost all 6 London derbies this season. Only twice before in top-flight history has a side ever lost 7 or more. Queen's Park Rangers in 95-96, and Fulham, who lost 13 between 2018 and 2020. West Ham could be ending that losing sequence. They have a slender lead, but Tottenham are looking for the equaliser. Simons, left corner of the area. Inside of him is Spence. Spence looks for a shooting opportunity, but right-footed. It was always going away from goal. Goal kick, Stephen.
Yeah, they're moving the ball a lot quicker in this second half. Spurs getting the ball into wide areas, they're getting players advanced, making sure that they're high up the pitch, and that's a couple of opportunities that they've created within the first 4 minutes of the second half.
Crawley 0, Notts County 1, a latest in League Two, and Charlton Athletic against the 9 men of Sheffield United in the Championship are 1-0 up. They had gone 4 games without a win in the Championship, the perfect opportunity to end that at the Valley. Porro with a header back towards Vicario, all in blue away towards our left-hand side.
I've done a little bit of digging at half-time as to who the guy was on the telly. We've got a few basketball players and celebrities here, and it was Jaren Jackson Jr., who plays for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Good knowledge.
Had to text someone and ask them, sent them a picture.
He was certainly very popular.
He certainly was.
Here is Spence. Not many popular players in white for Tottenham today, but they might be if they can get an equaliser. Spence left-hand side, challenged by Bowen. They have worked very hard off the ball. I'm thinking Bowen and Somerville in the first half. Everybody appears to have put in a real shift so far for West Ham.
Yeah, they have. I think the concern for Nuno would be, can they contain Spurs at the start of this second half? If they can, then they can do what they did in the first half and start to build from there. But he'll be a little bit concerned that his team are fragile at the moment and that they do concede goals. And what is the mentality? Will they believe that they can keep a clean sheet?
There'll be a few grizzling as well later on, and grumbles if it stays like this from Tottenham trailing, won't it? Full
Very
time.
good.
Four without a win. Certainly hasn't been a happy new year to 2026 so far, with 2 draws and 2 defeats. Grimsby Town against the 10 men of Barnet are leading by 1-0 in League 2. This is 5 Live, the World Service and the BBC Sounds app. And Spurs looking for an equaliser. Shoulder to shoulder, says the referee Jared Gillett, as Fernandes deals with a run of Gallagher, the debutant, after returning to the English game from that 18-month spell with Atletico Madrid. He'd only made 4 starts in La Liga this season. Here is Audebert, challenged by Fernandes once again in the midfield. Waits for the run ahead of him. Castellanos was a little slow, caught in possession. Now Simons coming forward. Bowen tries to make the challenge. Bowen, with a yellow card, will get booked. Catching Simons to give away a free kick. The West Ham captain is the 5th yellow card of the game.
I think Jarrod Bowen's saying he almost tried to run alongside Xavi Simons and didn't actually commit a foul, but he just clips the heel of Xavi Simons. It's a clear foul. I don't know what Jarrod Bowen is trying to appeal against, but the concern for Spurs is that Xavi Simons has stayed down and now the medical staff are sprinting onto the pitch.
Well, they're already without Maddison. Bentancur is going to be missing for a considerable period of time. Kudos we won't see until March. Hamstring injury will rob them of Richarlison. Solanke is getting talking to at the moment by Thomas Frank. Sarr still away at the African Cup of Nations. Kulusevski's another long-term injury. Camelon Juniors 1, Elgin City 2, Airdrie 2, Arbroath 1. Our latest scores in the Scottish Cup. So as a stoppage here at Tottenham, as we go to West Yorkshire and Mike Minay.
Leeds 0, Fulham 0. Leeds fans finally off their feet though, but it was in rage against the challenge from Harry Wilson on Gabriel Goodmanson. They wanted more than the yellow that Chris Kavanagh produced. He took his legs out on the charge down the left. It was cynical. Daniel Farker in the 4th officials here. Chances wise, nothing. Leeds 0, Fulham 0.
Still a stoppage. We'll go to Sunderland next. Julia Bold.
Sunderland 1, Crystal Palace 1, but there have been chances here. Palace could have gone in front. Jeremy Pino took a free quick, not far from the corner flag. It was a really tight angle, but it just touched the top of the bar and went over the top. The other end, Trey Hume, his header, but it was caught by Dean Anderson. Still 1-1.
That press room at the Stadium of Light today would certainly not have felt the same, because Andy Edmonds, sadly, who's been a press steward for many a year, in fact since 1988 at Sunderland, sadly passed away last weekend. He was always so welcoming and friendly, and our thoughts are with his family and friends for Andy, who was very, very popular at Sunderland Football Club. To Liverpool next, Chris Coles.
Liverpool 1, Burnley 0. Liverpool close to a second. Wirtz, who scored the first, very nearly made the second. Majestic footwork, seemed to drift through a non-existent gap, then laid it off to Gakpo. His shot cleared off the line. Another one cleared off the line. Liverpool 1, Burnley 0.
2 latest scores in League 1. Stockport County are back in front at home to Rotherham. They lead 2-1. Mansfield have taken the lead at home to Port Vale. Simons is back on his feet. We're going back to Mike Minay,
where Leeds have just had a massive chance. Low ball in from the right-hand side. Dominic Calvert-Lewin at the near post, tried to flick it on. Ellen Road thought it was in, but it was the side netting. Best thing we've had so far in the second half. Leeds 0, Fulham 0.
He's not walking too freely, is Simons, as Spurs still trail.
No, he doesn't look happy at all, does he? It almost looked like he was almost crying as he went to ground, but he's sort of having a little run on the far side to see whether he's okay to continue. And Solanke did sit back down on the bench.
So they're testing the fitness of Simons. Players back underway. West Ham still lead by 1-0. Tell far side the left. Tell comes forward, sends over the cross. Headed away by Mavropanos. Tell will keep the ball in play as he runs once more at Wan-Bissaka, who backpedals. Left-hand side of the penalty area, enters the box. Cross blocked by Wan-Bissaka, who remained tight. Tell this time passes the ball back to Spence. Infield to Porro. Porro drifts across towards that left-hand side, left corner of the area. Squeezes the ball out towards Tell. Attacks once again, back towards Porro. Porro's shot takes a deflection at the far post. Scarles clears on the volley.
They want handball, Deno. Porro is furious here. He's just had the shot and he's saying to the referee, check it. He thinks there's a penalty. I'm not so sure it was, though, but he was adamant.
It'll be checked as a matter of course by James Bell in Stockley Park, who's the VAR. Good spell of pressure. Is there an end product though? Simons is back on the field of play. Simons cuts inside, looks for Bissouma with a square ball, cut out by Pablo, the striker, the Brazilian forward who was sliding back. Tell drops to one knee, back towards Simons, the return ball. Van der Ven has stayed forward. Spurs, urged on by that 17,500 support behind the goal, get a corner kick as they trail.
They're just asking the question again about this penalty. It's been waved away. Pedro Porro, he was only the really one who was asking for it. But you can just hear that the volume's gone up around the stadium now. They feel like their team's on top.
Corner on that left-hand side. To the left corner of the area. Back to Tell from Simons. Tell passes the ball to Porro. Didn't have the weight of pass. Easily cut out by Fernandes, who turns, and all of a sudden the counter-attack could be on. If Bowen can release the ball towards Pablo, but Pablo is struggling. And in fact, the referee has brought play back for a late challenge on Bowen. Van der Ven is furious with the referee, and Van der Ven is now shown a yellow card. So that's the fourth Tottenham player to be booked by Jared Gillett. Kelty Hearts 1, Cove Rangers 1 in the fourth round of the Scottish Cup, and we're going to Fir Park where there's been a goal. Kenny Crawford.
63 minutes gone, Motherwell 1, Ross County 0. The hosts get the breakthrough through to Wanda Maswanisi. He tapped it in after Lucas Fadinger's shot went trundling wide, was going towards going wide of the post, but Maswanisi with his 15th goal of the season. Motherwell 1, Ross County 0.
Great result earlier for Neil Lennon against his old side, knocking out Hibs at East End Park. Dunfermline 1, Hibs 0 at Boundary Park. It's Oldham 2, Cheltenham 1, and for a second time this afternoon at Edgeley Park, Rotherham United have equalised. It's now Stockport County 2, Rotherham United 2. Rotherham, who have gone 9 games without a win, 7 successive defeats, but are still fighting. This is the Premier League. It's live on 5 Live in the World Service, and we're approaching the hour mark as West Ham pass the ball out towards Bowen, and Spence, last touch must have come off Bowen. I thought he'd just got a nick to take it out of his path. It's a Spurs throw.
I think he just touched it off Bowen, Spence, as he tried to intercept it. The other thing, Deno, is Spurs have got a real problem now. Both centre-backs have been booked. You've got to stretch them. You've got to make the game dangerous for them.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is that whilst it's the fourth yellow card, 2 of them actually have been substituted in Ben Davies and Archie Gray, but Stephen Warnock is absolutely spot on. The other 2 who remain on the field are the 2 central defenders, as West Ham win the ball back midway through the Tottenham half, still leading by 1-0. Bowen to Souček. Bowen wanted the return ball, but Souček has passed the ball out wide. Wan-Bissaka delivers the cross, and Pablo went for he was slightly behind him, he went for the acrobatic, met it on the full, but right-footed, has skied it, and it goes out for a goal kick. Team news from the City Ground now, John Murray.
Forest just the one change from their last league match, the win at West Ham. Sangare is back from the Africa Cup. He's in for Hutchinson, who's a substitute, as is the returning Yates. 3 changes for the leaders from Wednesday. Raya's back in goal. Saka's only a sub, and Trossard as well, with Madueke and Martinelli the wide men, as Arsenal look to extend their lead to 9 points, Ian.
That's after Manchester City lost the Manchester derby at Old Trafford to United by 2-0. Crawley are down to 10 men. Lolos has been sent off as they trail at home to Notts County by 1-0 in League 2. Mansfield 2, Port Vale 0. Shrewsbury lead Harrogate by 1-0. They've had a man dismissed as well. We're going to Anfield in a moment, but Tottenham are coming forward now with Bissouma. Simons was crying out for the ball to his feet in a central area outside the penalty area. Gallagher towards the right-hand side with the cross. Simons waits, headed away by Souček. Tottenham are trying to match this possession with an opportunity. West Ham, who are yet to keep a clean sheet, and the Nuno Espirito Santo hold firm. In comes the cross, only as far as Gallagher, couldn't control the ball. We're going to go Anfield now. Chris Colt.
Well, equaliser for Burnley. Marcus Edwards has scored. Burnley have had a really impressive 5 minutes, and they have justifiably levelled. Great ball to Edwards, left-hand side of the area. Fine finish, low beyond Alisson. Liverpool 1, Burnley 1.
Tottenham travel to Burnley next Saturday. It'll be a commentary on 5 Live. Indeed, on Tuesday night when they host Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League, that too will be live on 5 Live. Mansfield 2, Port Vale 0. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Portsmouth 1, and Northampton 1, Wycombe 2 in League One. Stephen Warnock.
There's been a lot of talk about West Ham this week, and especially one around Lucas Paqueta and his involvement at the football club and his effort on the pitch in recent weeks. To a man, West Ham have been exceptional, and one of the players who's been really impressive will come back.
Castellanos plays in Somerville. Van der Ven comes across. What a sliding challenge that was from Van der Ven. Bearing in mind he's on a yellow card, if he gets that wrong, he's off. However, that could be the catalyst just to show and spark Spurs into life. Simons carries the ball forward. Out towards Audebert, right corner of the area. Audebert infield. Pulls it back. Basuma! What a save by Areola. Flying save, corner kick. It's livening up now.
He is from one end to the other. Brilliant from Van der Ven in his own box, and he turned defence into attack so quickly. Audebert, I thought he should have shot himself, but he plays the pass into Basuma. Basuma tries to bend it into the top right-hand corner. Credit to Areola. He sees the danger, gets a good tip around the corner. Another Spurs corner, but this has opened up to be a really good game in the second half.
Matthias Tell is the player who comes off for Dominic Solanke.
He's fuming. He is furious. The camera's just panned on him, but Deno, he is not happy whatsoever.
The supporters weren't either. There was boos for that decision as well, as he applauds the Spurs supporters as he makes his way in front of the main stand. Tottenham corner kick. Porro to take it, edge of the area headed away by Fernandes. Leyton Orient 2, Reading 1. You're up to date with the goals as they go in here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Basuma, short ball. Cross swung over from Gallagher. Downward header by Castellanos. Wan-Bissaka lifts it into the air. Yet to start this season, Solanke, 5th appearance off the bench. How they have missed that focal point. Tell had been doing well for Tottenham. Basuma tries to win it back. Spurs still have the ball. Infield towards Simons. Simons can't get past Soucek. And Fernandes clears. Let's get news of that goal from Hillsborough with Naz Premji.
Yes, it was Adrian Segejic, right-hand side, left-footed shot into the bottom corner. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Portsmouth 1.
62 minutes played here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And Tottenham Hotspur, with this awful home record, trailing to West Ham United. Threatened, of course, by relegation. Porro with a cross. Good curling ball! What a header by Solanke! What an impact! Romero, in fact! It was Romero who met it! It was a powerful header from Romero! The goal has been coming! It was unstoppable from Romero. Spurs are back level 1-1.
Well, it's all about the ball in from Pedro Porro. So often in this first half, and this early stages of the second half, he's hit the front man. And as Audebert knocks it back to him, it's a first-time ball in. It's absolutely perfect. He swings it in from the right-hand side onto the 6-yard box. Romero arrives on the scene, gets in front of Wan-Bissaka. Quite brilliant header, unstoppable.
A powerful header from the captain, Christian Romero, takes his tally for 4 for the season in the 64th minute. Back 1-1, and still Nuno Espirito cannot keep a clean sheet in all of his 18 games that he's been in charge. Here is Somerville, meanwhile, at the other end for West Ham. Pablo, high foot, foul, as he challenged Gallagher. Spurs now with a bit of momentum, looking to try and turn this around. Simons gives Audebert a bit something to chase. Goes too close to Areola.
he only had to stick it down the line. He tried to be too precise with the pass. Hotspur had the run in a Skulls had switched off. This is really an interesting game now.
It certainly is. You wouldn't have given Spurs much hope in that first half, but all of a sudden the momentum is with the home side. Kolomouani nudges the ball past Mavropanos and then stopped as Wan-Bissaka up towards Pablo. Basuma coming back at him. Romero bites into the challenge. Romero's forward ball cut out by Mavropanos, who then catches Simons. And the referee just has to calm things down because they're calling for action against Mavropanos. Meanwhile, another goal at the Stadium of Light. Julia Bolt.
The noise will tell you it's Sunderland 2, Crystal Palace 1. Brian Bromey has sent the home side in front, but it just looks like now he might be injured in the celebration. It could have hit an advertising hoarding. I will keep an eye on that because he's down surrounded by his teammates, but he hit the ball, it went right into the top of the roof of the net. It's Sunderland 2, Crystal Palace 1.
Update at Wrexham, Molly Stevens.
After a medical emergency in the crowd, the players undertook a 5-minute warm-up before play resumes with 50 minutes on the clock. Wrexham 1, Norwich 1.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live. 66 minutes played here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 1, West Ham 1. Porro, who got the assist for that equaliser, over the free kick midway through the West Ham half. Romero is forward. Kolomouani is there. In it comes now. Away from Souček. Drops towards Basuma. And he's absolutely skied that. 12 yards out it goes for a goal kick. Featured game in League 2 is at the county ground, Nikesh Regani.
Where Swindon are now trailing to Salford by 3-1 after pushing for the equaliser. They got done on the counter-attack. Callum Cisse with the strike into the bottom corner with his right foot from just inside the area. It's Swindon Town 1, Salford City 3.
Good news for Bromley as they make their way home after that 0-0 draw at Chesterfield. They should be 6 points clear then if it stays like that. Tranmere 1, Walsall 3. Walsall moving on to 46 points with Swindon at the top of League 2. They were the two early results in League 2. In League 1, Bradford 1, the leaders Cardiff 2, Wigan 0, Bolton 1. And in the Championship, Coventry 2, Leicester 1, Ipswich 3, Blackburn 0, Watford 0, Millwall 2. And Manchester United beat Manchester City 2-0 as a chance comes in for Pablo and he puts it wide inside the penalty area. And West Ham still drawing here 1-1. Mansfield 3, Port Vale 0 is the latest score in League 1. Stephen Warnock.
Can't call which way it's going to go because Spurs are throwing men forward. West Ham are still getting opportunities to counter-attack, but when they go forward, Spurs, they're creating chances now, which they certainly weren't doing in the first half.
Updating the rugby, James Burridge.
This is on a knife edge. Stormers 22, Leicester 21. Tries apiece. The first from Leicester, Jamie Blamire from the line out. And then Leolin Sass, an absolutely fabulous score. Delayed the pass and he was right underneath the post to give the lead back to Stormers. 53 minutes gone. They lead by a point.
Commentary of that continues on Sports Extra 2. Mavropanos, I don't think was booked for an earlier foul, was he?
No, he wasn't. I was just checking then.
But the referee, he's just given away another free kick. The referee, Jared Gillett, that'll be for persistent offending, giving him his final warning.
Yeah, I think as long as he can stay on that tightrope, he'll be quite happy, Mavropanos, because he's playing, like I say, aggressive football.
Hotspur forward. Hotspur wins the corner. Off a boot from the left-back Skulls, who was running back. They showed fight in the second half against Aston Villa in the FA Cup defeat last week. Thomas Frank saying ahead of this game he deserves patience. It's a tough spell, we will get through it. But they're looking to come from behind after trailing at half-time. They have levelled. Porro with a corner, an out-swinging corner. Souček heads it away. Simons will collect it as he runs out towards that left touchline. Spurs attacking the south stand here. Infield. Challenge comes in from Skulls. Spence strokes the ball forward. Then the Tottenham left-back gets it forward. Diagonal ball. Romero, downward header. Edge of the area. Somerville will get there before Porro. But Kolomouani leaping the air will win it back for Tottenham. And then runs the ball out of play, much to the frustration of the home supporters. Exeter City 2, Stevenage 0 is the latest score in League 1. And we've got just over 20 minutes remaining. And like you say, this could go either way.
It certainly could. I think there's been a definite dynamic change with Basuma coming on into that midfield. He's brought an urgency not only on the ball but off the ball as well. There's been a better balance about this Spurs team in the second half.
Well, he was sent off for Mali in the quarter-final defeat to Senegal, but his 5 appearances this season for Mali is the only football that he's played. His last appearance for Tottenham was back in May. Incidentally, for listeners in Africa on the World Service, there will be commentary of the African Cup of Nations final, 7 o'clock tomorrow on the World Service. The Spurs supporters are making all the noise. Odobert in field, Porro with a cross inside the area. Colin Mawani beaten in the air by Wan-Bissaka. Only as far as Spence in field. Ball back by Simons to Spence, couldn't take it in his stride. Battles for the ball, wins it back. Colin Mawani now is there. He passes the ball to the edge of the area. Gallagher plays it out now towards Simons, hits it, strikes the body of Soucek, and out it goes for a corner kick as we go to James Gregg at Southampton.
Game on here, Ian. 20 minutes left. Substitute Ross Stewart prodding in for a deserved Southampton goal back. It has been coming. Saints 1, Hull 2.
Spurs have taken the corner short on the left-hand side. It now goes infield. Odobert with the shot, and it goes wide off his right boot. Fleetwood are leading. Have equalised. Fleetwood 1, Cambridge United 1 is the latest score in League 2. 19 minutes remain. Stephen.
Yeah, just getting a replay in front of us of that chance for Odobert. It's nowhere near. However, the way that they move the ball from the corner quickly, they get Odobert free on the edge of the box, and I'm sure Nuno will be looking at his players saying, why is he not getting closed down? Why are we leaving him with an opportunity from 20 yards to get a free strike at goal?
Odobert's forward ball, Gallagher being hauled back by Soucek, and that's going to be a yellow card for Thomas Soucek. He is the 3rd West Ham player to be booked, and he had to go in because he was struggling to keep up with Gallagher.
Yeah, had to be done. Tactical foul from Thomas Soucek. He had to make sure that Conor Gallagher couldn't get beyond him and then either get a shot away or find a slip pass into one of his teammates. So, as we say, tactical foul.
Swindon Town 2, Salford City 3. Norwich City are back in front at Wrexham in the Championship. Wrexham 1, Norwich City 2. But this is a direct free kick for Tottenham Hotspur, and it is 25 yards out from goal. Maybe a shade more. Porro stands over it. West Ham United are lining up the wall. They looked like they were going to have 4, but instead Somerville, conscious of Odobert's presence on this right-hand side, level with the area, walks away. Fernandez is told not to add to that wall, so it remains 3 in the wall. Porro, though, chips the ball in the area, and Romero's header is over the top. We're going to Chelsea now, John Southall.
Chelsea have a second, Chelsea 2, Brentford 0. Kelleher brought down Delap. Cole Palmer took the penalty, emphatic, right corner. Chelsea 2, Brentford 0.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra. In the Scottish Cup 4th round, Camelon Juniors 1, Elgin City 3. Told you that Swindon had reduced the arrears. Nikesh Rugani.
Yeah, they're still in this one. 12 minutes gone, and it was a goal from their top scorer of the season, Arendron, across from the right. Bullet header into the back of the net. They're up for this one still, Swindon, who trail by 3-2.
Kilmarnock 1, Dundee 1 in the Scottish Cup. Blackpool are level at Barnsley in League 1. Exeter 2, Stevenage 0. And we are up to date with the goals as they go in. We'll get details of that 3rd goal of the afternoon at Wrexham. Molly Stevens.
Norwich have the lead through their top scorer, Jovan Makama, with his 13th goal of the season. It's not enough to lift them out of the bottom 3 in the live table. And now Josh Windass is down with an injury, the Wrexham player. Wrexham 1, Norwich 2.
17 minutes remain of this London derby. There is a purple haze as a plane flies overhead here in North London as West Ham United, who had that lead at half-time, and when they have scored first in the Premier League this season, only on one occasion have they actually won a game. They've thrown away a number of leads. They've actually lost 15 points in that respect, with 3 draws and 3 defeats, and they couldn't hold on to the lead here today, but they might win the ball back. Spence gives away a free kick on the halfway line for a challenge against Castellanos. 1-1. We're going to have some finale, I suspect.
Yeah, we are, and I think the reason that West Ham don't hold on to leads is that feeling of, well, if we win this game we can get ourselves back in the mix of staying in the Premier League. However, that feeling of, how do we go about that? Do we sit back and defend? Do we try and stay organised? Then you sit back too deep and you're just asking for problems. In that first half they attacked Spurs and they caused them so many problems, and it was a credit to them for that. Wow, Romero, he's so dangerous on a yellow card.
Here is Wan-Bissaka tries to thread a ball through. Spence has to turn inside the penalty area. That was a thundering challenge from Romero, wasn't it? I mean, he got the ball, but I think he's caught Pablo in the process.
Yeah, he certainly has caught Pablo. He felt that one. I mean, he absolutely poleaxed him as he came through. He had to get that right. He did get it right. He won the ball. But you just feel with Romero, he's just so close. It's almost like the yellow card when he gets it doesn't register in his head. He doesn't think, oh yeah, I've got to be more careful now.
Well, he was sent off against Liverpool in December. He's been booked today. Stockport County for a third time today are leading against Rotherham. Stockport 3, Rotherham United 2. Burton Albion 3, Huddersfield 1 is the latest score in League One. And Crawley, who remember are down to 10 men, are trailing now at home to Notts County by 2-0. They're inside the last 10 minutes there. We've got 15 minutes remaining here in this Premier League game. Castellanos to Bowen, brings it off his chest. The ball is hammered clear by Basuma. And that was Todibo, who couldn't bring the ball under control. Allowed Kola Moani to get a touch. Out to Odobert. Odobert held up by Scarles. Gets it out wide right. Porro delivers a teasing ball that Areola will punch away under pressure. Basuma heads it forward. Still the Tottenham attack remains. Gallagher, though, loses the ball towards Todibo. But then Wan-Bissaka gives it away cheaply towards Basuma. And Basuma is scythed down by Somerville. As we'll go to Anfield and Chris Coles.
Inside the last 8 minutes here, Liverpool 1, Burnley 1. Liverpool with the ball in the Burnley net. Ekitike fired it in. Flag went up, he was offside. And Jones flashing a ball across goal. Ekitike inches away from turning it home. Liverpool 1, Burnley 1.
Bowen runs the ball clear for West Ham. Spurs 1, West Ham 1. As there's been a goal at Deepdale in the Championship, Shodo Saka.
Preston 0, Derby 1. Derby's Patrick Agyemang missed an open goal 2 minutes into this second half. He's made sure with a headed chance late into this game, down into the corner and into the net. Derby deserve it. Preston 0, Derby 1.
In the Premier League earlier, Manchester United beat Manchester City 2-0. These are the latest scores. Tottenham 2, Brentford 0, Leeds United 0, Fulham 0, Liverpool 1, Burnley 1, Sunderland 1. Sunderland lead Crystal Palace by 2-1, and it remains 1-1 here in this London derby. As West Ham with Bowen delivers the cross. Spence slid into the challenge. The referee, after a moment's hesitation, is it given the free kick for West Ham? He's shown a yellow card to Spence.
Yeah, I think it was, the reaction from the West Ham fans who were right in front of Jarrod Bowen as that happened were saying, well, that's late from Jed Spence. And it was late from Jed Spence. He's frustrated. He's saying it was never a foul, but it was. And this is a dangerous position now for West Ham. They've got this free kick.
Dundee United 1, Ayr United 0 in the Scottish Cup. So at Tannadice, Dundee United have got a late goal. West Ham are going to make a change. And the player who's going to be coming on is Guido Rodriguez for West Ham. And the player who is going to be going off is Pablo. So that is a midfielder for a striker, and he's in no real hurry to leave the field of play after his first start for the club.
No, he's done well. I was going to make that point before where we were talking about Paqueta. He almost can, you can be playing with 10 men at times off the ball. Well, he's worked extremely hard off the ball. He'll be a welcome addition to the West Ham team and applauded off for his efforts today.
Match of the day tonight, 10:30, BBC One. You can see all the goals on the BBC website from 8 o'clock, but extended highlights with Alan Shearer, Mark Chapman and Wayne Rooney tonight on BBC One at 10:30. You can have your say on 606 as well after our next commentary at the City Ground with Alistair Bruce Ball and Chris Sutton. 08085909693, the usual number to call. Just over 10 minutes remaining. Gillingham 1, Newport County 2 is the latest score in League 2. Free kick for West Ham, right-hand side, in towards the near post. Van der Ven, that might have been going in, Van der Ven heads it behind for a corner.
Yeah, I think he goes for it on his Scarles. I think he thinks, why not, have a shot at goal, make life difficult, might just flick up ahead. Vicario might not quite read the flight of the ball, but now they're starting to surround the goalkeeper Vicario, the West Ham players.
Airdrie 2, Arbroath 2 in the Scottish Cup 4th round. West Ham with a corner kick, right-hand side, delivered deep, right down the throat of Vicario. Vicario all in blue looks to see if he can release the ball. Souček stands in front of him, then he kicks it right-footed downfield. Odobert looks for the flick header. Kolomwani tries to help it on its way towards Porro, who was actually in an offside position, and that will be a free kick. So these are the latest scores in the Scottish Cup fourth round. Airdrie 2, Arbroath 2, Camelon Juniors 1, Elgin City 3, Dundee United 1, Ayr 0, Kelty Hearts 1, Cove Rangers 1, Kilmarnock 1, Dundee 1, Livingston 1, St Mirren 1, Motherwell lead Ross County by a goal to nil, Partick Thistle 2, Montrose 1, they've just got a goal back, Spartans 0, Inverness 0, Stenhousemuir 4, Greenock Morton 0. Ellen Road, Mike Minay.
0-0, 3 Leeds effort since you were last with us. Goodmanson, left side of the box, uncomposed shot, flew wide of the near post. He was down on his knees, slapping the ground in frustration. James Justin and Dominic Calvert-Lewin also on target, but comfortable saves for Bernd Leno. Leeds 0, Fulham 0.
Mavropanos passes the ball forward. The layoff by Castellanos towards Bowen. Bowen delivers the cross, and Porro running back coolly chested the ball back towards Vicario.
That got you going, didn't it?
He was cooler than I was.
Yeah, he absolutely was. I thought, why are you getting panicked here?
Well, that's the Defenders Union. You'd have done something yourself, wouldn't you, running back in the day?
Oh no, I'd have nodded it in my own goal.
The results...
Did that a few times.
I bet you didn't really, you're just being modest. The results in League 2 earlier: Chesterfield 0, Bromley 0, Tranmere 1, Walsall 3. Ball goes long up towards Solanke, picked up by Areola. These are the latest scores in League 2. Accrington 0, MK Dons 2, Bristol Rovers 0, Colchester 0, Crawley 0, Notts County 2, Crewe 3, Barrow 1, Fleetwood 0, Cambridge 1, Gillingham 1, Newport County 1, Grimsby lead Barnet by a goal to nil, Oldham 2, Cheltenham 1, Shrewsbury 1, Harrogate 0, Swindon against Salford City. That computer hasn't updated because Swindon, I know, are losing at home by 3 goals to 2. So the computer has a glitch, which isn't ideal if you want to run through the latest scores. But here we'll watch the live action as Somerville comes forward now to Scarles on the overlap on the left-hand side, and the header on the run from Castellanos just drifts into the air and easily gathered in by Vicario.
Yeah, it's starting to throw men forward a little bit. West Ham now got nice overload down that left-hand side. Good ball in from Scarles, but Castellanos was just advanced beyond the ball and had to redirect his body and try and get that header from a position behind him. Tough technique to achieve.
Leyton Orient 3, Reading 1 is the latest score in League 1. Bristol Rovers 0, Colchester 1 is the latest in League 2. Tottenham are attacking. Ball out towards Odobert. Easily cut out though by Scarles, the left back. 8 minutes remain. 1 apiece in this London derby live on 5 Live. Romero wins the challenge against Castellanos. The two Argentines coming together. As then the ball from Van de Ven towards Basuma. Do you sense that could be a late goal, a winning goal for one of these two sides?
I do, but I couldn't predict which way it's going to be, because I still think if Spurs are to continue to throw players forward, they could get caught on the counter-attack.
Spurs, Romero to Gallagher. Gallagher went for goal. His right-footed shot was blocked inside the area. Back it goes to Romero. Porro on this right-hand side, passes the ball in field. West Ham United with their claret shirts have everybody in and around their own penalty areas. They defend deep. 7 minutes of normal time remain. This is Gallagher. Gallagher takes it on, hooks it goalwards. Kolomwani towards Simons. Simons, was he pushed over? The referee had an excellent view of that, and he's unmoved, is Jared Gillett, and instead gives a free kick for West Ham. What are your thoughts, Stephen?
No, not a foul. I think it's just Xavi Simons is just muscled off the ball in a good way by Rodriguez. He senses danger, gets his body across, wins the ball. The concern would be what goes on after it, as Romero again just barges into people. It's almost like he doesn't realise that the game's being refereed, and he's on that knife edge again.
Living life on the edge, Christian Romero. The results earlier in League 1: Bradford City 1, the leaders Cardiff 2, Wigan 0, Bolton Wanderers 1. These are the latest scores. Wimbledon 0, Doncaster 0, Barnsley 1, Blackpool 1, Burton 3, Huddersfield 1, Exeter leads Stevenage 2-0, Leyton Orient 3, Reading 1, Luton 2, Lincoln 2, they were 2-0 up with Lincoln, Mansfield 3, Port Vale 0, Northampton 1, Wickham 2, Peterborough 0, Plymouth 1, Stockport County 3, Rotherham United 2. VAR is having a look.
Get a grip. If you're going to give a penalty for that, they're saying it's Ollie Scarles with a handball. Conor Gallagher goes down the line. Scarles has got his arm up to almost protect against Conor Gallagher, to stop him trying to get beyond him. It brushes the fingertips. If this is given for a penalty, I'll be absolutely shocked. And if it is, VAR needs scrapping completely. Incredible.
Well, I'm sure the directive from Howard Webb to the VARs is don't go looking for something. And that isn't a clear and obvious error.
No, and they've wiped it. They've got rid of it straight away. Good. Because that is absolute nonsense that it's even being looked at.
The results earlier in the Championship: Coventry beat Leicester 2-1, Ipswich 3, Blackburn 0, Watford 0, Millwall 2. These are the latest scores. Charlton lead the 9 men of Sheffield United 1-0. Oxford 0, Bristol City 0, Preston 0, Derby 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Portsmouth 1, Southampton 1, Hull City 2. That could be 7 without a win in the Championship as Spurs come forward. Solanke struggling, Todibo comes across, he might have pulled an injury there, or was he fouled? Goes out for a throw. Stoke 0, QPR 0, and Wrexham 1, Norwich City 2 is the latest score. Spurs, with under 5 minutes remaining, have a throw on this near side. They're attacking the south stand, they're playing from left to right, they're being urged on. Porro gets the ball back, swings over the cross. Mavropanos has put that out of play for a throw right down by the corner flag.
Well, if you're Porro, you're saying to Solanke, why are you not there? It's right in front of the goalkeeper. It's not on the 6-yard line, it's 4 yards, and it's just a delightful ball, just wants tapping in.
In fact, it went to the left of the corner flag, so it will actually be a corner kick. Porro to take it, the left arm is aloft, 1-1. Porro pulls it to the edge of the area. This is Odobert, gives it back towards Porro, time to control the ball, strikes the body of Bowen, behind for another corner kick. After this corner, we're going straight to Ellen Road. The only goalless game in the Premier League has just witnessed a late goal between Leeds and Fulham. Porro waits to take the corner. A lot of activity in the penalty area, swings it over now, Porro, it's deep. It's headed in towards Basuma and it's clear. So at Ellen Road, Mike Maine.
Leeds, Premier League, late drama, it's happened again. Leeds 1, Fulham 0. Cross comes in from the right-hand side. It was behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but stretching, leaning back was Lucas Mecha to steer it into the left side of the goal. Leeds 1, Fulham 0.
Takes them surely out of the relegation equation. Porro sends in a cross to Spurs, drops inside the area. Fernandes clears the ball away. West Ham are firmly in the thick of it, and they're having to defend with a lot of numbers back inside their own penalty area. It's Tottenham who are finishing the stronger.
Yeah, they certainly are. They're really putting the pressure on West Ham here. Come again down this right-hand side. Porro's been really dangerous down the right-hand side. Wins his team a corner.
He wins a corner off the body of Scholes. He whips up the crowd. Gillingham 2, Newport County 2. So Gillingham have equalised against bottom of the table Newport in injury time at Priestfield, and an injury time goal for Barnsley as they now lead Blackpool by 2-1 in League One. We've got 2.5 minutes of normal time remaining. Bergval's going to be coming on soon for Spurs. Meanwhile, Porro waits to take this corner kick on the right-hand side. Porro, in it comes. Soucek clears it, only as far as Odobert, 25 yards out from goal, down the right-hand side. Porro, Odobert creates the diversion, in comes the cross, off the chest of Simons! Good save by Areola. Parries the ball away for a corner kick. It went down into the ground before it reached him.
Yeah, it wasn't a great ball in from Pedro Porro. He pulls his cross, but Xavi Simons reads it, chests it down, gets a shot away, and it bounces wickedly in front of Areola. Really smart save though, doesn't take a chance, doesn't try and hold it, pushes it round the corner. Another Spurs corner.
At Tannadice, Dundee United are through to the 5th round. They're going to beat Ayr 2-0. They've got a second goal there at Tannadice. Meanwhile, 1-1 here in the Premier League, 90 seconds of normal time remain. Spurs have a corner kick, far side the left. Solanke making a use of himself with Soucek. In it comes now, headed out by Somerville. Only as far as the Spurs, number 7. Simons out towards Porro, takes a deflection, loops in the air. Headed away by Todibo. Van der Ven heads it back, but Spurs are in possession. This is Odobert. Out now towards Gallagher. Gallagher's cross, charged down by Rodriguez. It rebounds out for a Tottenham throw that they take quickly. They try to keep the momentum. They try to keep the pressure on West Ham. Here is Gallagher. Gain, an outstretched leg by Rodriguez from Gallagher. He wants to take the throw quick, but Porro says no, wait for me. I think Porro was wanting to take it. In fact, there's 2 balls on the pitch. It's going to have to be retaken. Sunderland have beaten Crystal Palace by 2-1. Palace 10 without a win in all competitions. Here comes the change of Bergvall. Stephen Warner.
Yeah, just taking a look at down below what they're going to do. It looked like they were also bringing Danso on as well. I wasn't sure whether that was to bring him on to have long throws into the box, or because the amount of crosses that they're getting into the box, that they feel that there's an opportunity for them to actually win another header in the West Ham box and cause a massive problem.
Callum Wilson, who's not been involved in the last 2 games, is coming off for West Ham, so there's going to change. That means we can go to James Burridge at the rugby.
And Stormers have taken lead back again, Schickling the second row, bursting down the right-hand side, sold an outrageous dummy to score, 29-21. Leicester need to score twice in the last 10 minutes to stay in the Champions Cup.
Wilson comes on for Castellanos. Dundee United going through to the 5th round, as are Dundee. They've got an injury time goal at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock 1, Dundee 2. Bergvall then, the substitute, is ready to launch this ball in. 6 minutes of added time, which we're now into here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 1, West Ham United 1. Bergvall right up against the advertising hoardings, level with the area on the right-hand side. In it goes, flicked on by Van der Ven, blocked. Bergvall heads it back in the area, off the chest of Basuma, hooks it goalwards. Romero went for the acrobatic effort, that didn't quite come off. West Ham get the ball away. And I think that was dangerous play by Romero. That's why referee Jared Gillett has given a free kick for West Ham. Stephen.
Yeah, we've seen him do it a couple of times, haven't we, Romero? He's got an absolute cracker away at Newcastle to get them level right at the end of the game. His eyes lit up there, but this game, will we see a winner?
Let's get the details then at the Stadium of Light. Julia.
Yeah, it's finished Sunderland 2, Crystal Palace 1. It was Sunderland that came out stronger after the break, where it was 1-1. They were battling to go in front. Mukiel did well, held off the Palace defence, sent the ball into Broby, centre a goal, stretched his right foot, and it went into the roof of the net to end a run of 5 Premier League games without a win, but it caps off a miserable week for Palace. 2-1 to Sunderland.
Here is Wilson for West Ham, gets the shot away. What a block that was from Porro. It dropped to him, hit it instinctively right-footed, but Porro just threw himself in front of it, diverts the ball behind for a corner.
Yeah, he seemed to take an age, didn't he, to control the ball and take it down, Callum Wilson, but Porro, like you say, Deno, gets across, and an outstanding block. It was Yves Bissouma who lost the flight of the ball as it came into Callum Wilson. My question is where are the 2 centre-halves of Spurs?
Leeds United have beaten Fulham by 1-0. They are currently 10 points clear of West Ham, who go in search of an injury time goal. Corner kick, right-hand side. A bit of a scramble. It's been put in by Wilson. West Ham United right at the death with such a valuable goal from the substitute. Delirious scenes in the away end. It's a hammer blow for Thomas Frank and Tottenham. It was a scruffy goal, but West Ham don't care about that. They're back in front in injury time. Spurs 1, West Ham 2.
Well, this will be looked at by VAR. Vicario is furious. He thinks there's a foul on him. Callum Wilson doesn't care. He's dealt with it. It's Callum Wilson and Vicario who are next to each other. I think it's just poor goalkeeping from Vicario. I think he doesn't read the situation. I don't think he's strong enough. Callum Wilson, as it drops to him, instinctively toe pokes it into the top court, into the roof of the net. They haven't deserved it in the second half, West Ham. They won't care because they're going to leave here with 3 points, and a huge 3 points.
Vicario was all over the place, wasn't he? Vicario was absolutely all over the place.
He's so weak. He is so weak. I think it started here a couple of years ago against Manchester City, didn't it, where they surrounded the goalkeeper and everyone was saying they'd watched it and they'd realised there was frailties with Vicario. He's still moaning, and the reason he's moaning so much is because he's embarrassed. That is simply not strong enough from Vicario. However, Callum Wilson, he was sent on to score a goal, and he has done exactly that. He had an opportunity that led to the corner that he perhaps could have done better with, but now it looks like he's given his team a goal. However,
VAR is having a look at it.
Not for a foul though. Offside.
Offside. Well, that angle doesn't give you anything of a clue. The goal stands. The goal stands. West Ham fans celebrate, and the boos once again reverberate around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Callum Wilson to put West Ham 2-1 up. Nuno Espirito Santo, when he came here in April with Nottingham Forest, won by 2 goals to 1. Kilman's going to be coming on as a late substitute as well for West Ham to replace Fernandes. West Ham United offers them a real lifeline.
It really does, and they can close that gap on Nottingham Forest. This could be huge. I mean, the Spurs fans are absolutely furious. They've started leaving. They've had enough. The boos rang round the stadium. Well, to away to our left-hand side, the West Ham fans cannot believe what they've just seen. I think they're singing Callum Wilson's name, aren't they?
Gillingham 3, Newport 2, Morecambe 2, Scunthorpe 2, that's in the National League. Exeter 3, Stevenage 0. Play back underway. They've got an instruction to go somewhere else with all of the chaos here. We're going to Liverpool and Chris Coles.
Burnley hold on to deny Liverpool. It finishes 1-1. Vert's fine finish in the first half. Edwards equalising midway through the second. More drop points at home to a promoted side for Liverpool. Liverpool 1, Burnley 1.
Full time at Stamford Bridge, John Southall.
Chelsea 2, Brentford 0. The scoreline doesn't tell the story. João Pedro gave Chelsea the half-time lead, but Brentford missed a host of chances in the first and second half and were then punished with the second. Cole Palmer with the penalty. Liam Rossini's first league win. Chelsea 2, Brentford 0.
Basuma to Bergvall. Bergvall tries to wriggle his way through into the penalty area. Bergvall keeps it alive, sends over the cross, comes off the knees of Mavropanos behind for a corner kick. Will quickly go to Leeds. Full-time Mike Miney.
And if West Ham are winning, it makes 3 points for Leeds even more important here. The winner comes as added time was shown. Lucas Mecha converting a cross from the right, stretching and steering it into the left of the goal. Leeds unbeaten in 5 at Ellen Road. Leeds 1, Fulham 0.
8 points is the difference then. As Porro with a corner kick, looking for a dramatic equaliser, comes off the head of Romero and bounces out for a goal kick. Once again, there are more boos from the Tottenham supporters, but that end that holds 17,500 away towards our right, Stephen Warnock, is emptying rapidly.
Yeah, it sure is, and I think it's emptying everywhere, Deno. They've had enough. They feel like they've been supporting the team. There's been flags, banners. Time for change. They want to see a change. I don't think just in the hierarchy of the club, but also in a managerial position of Thomas Frank. Huge pressure on both these managers today. It looks like Nuno's coming out on top.
The chief executive, Vinay Venkatesham, issued an open letter into which he said about the distance between the club and the fans. They're committed to rebuilding that connection. 3 points would have gone a long way to doing so. Not a defeat where you've only won twice at home all season against West Ham, who were on course for their first win since the 8th of November. You will hear when the final whistle is sounded. The 6 minutes of added time elapsed some time ago. We're now into the 8th minute of added time. West Ham lead 2-1. Porro with a cross blocked by Scarles. Callum Wilson with the all-important goal. We'll bring you as much live reaction as we can in Sports Report that's coming up before our next commentary at the City Ground. Bergvall goes long with a throw into the penalty area. Gallagher keeps it alive. Cut back blocked. Bergvall delivers it once again from the right towards the far post. Colomwani is there. Gallagher tries to get it. Head by Ryan Rodriguez. Another scramble inside the penalty area. Frantic defending by West Ham. And then over on that far side it's to Debo, and he clatters the ball anywhere will do downfield. How much longer will be played? Jared Gillett, what's he given here? Is he given a free kick? Or is he telling Colomwani to get to his feet as Spurs wait to take a throw on the left? Bergvall runs across to take it. We're into the 9th minute of added time. Spurs 1, West Ham United 2, live on 5 Live in the World Service. Bergvall goes short with a throw. Spence delivers the cross. It's going to go all the way out of play for a goal kick. That is it. Listen to the boos inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Deafening boos and jeers. Their home form remains as bad as it ever has been in a league campaign. But for West Ham, they offer themselves a lifeline with their first win since the 8th of November. Reaction to come. Tottenham Hotspur 1, West Ham United 2.